All right. So I hope everybody is excited to start looking at more of these Modern Horizon 2 spoilers. Because I am absolutely at almost a maximum level of hype. What's good, everybody? Happy Thursday. How you doing, Spirit Squad? And yeah, just like yesterday, I don't really want to wait to dive into more of these spoilers. I'm just going to jump right in because if today is anything like yesterday, this is going to be a very, very good time of looking at all these new Modern Horizons 2 cards. So if anybody sees anything that is particularly interesting to you, yeah, just make sure to let me know in the comments as we go along these things. I have not cheated and looked ahead or anything like that, so yeah, let's see what happens. Herd Baloth, huh? Oh, that's kind of cool, actually. Alright, so whenever you get +1s on this thing, you get a 4/4 beast token. It's a 4/4 for 5. So it's kind of jank at 5 for a 4/4, but this looks like an amazing limited card, and I'm sure somebody will throw this in some casual thing. Today's spoilers are amazing. Oh my god, I am ready for it. Territorial Kavu, huh? Domain, okay, so it's got power and toughness each equal to the number of land types you have. So triumphs plus this things are already kind of busted, right? Discard a card if you do draw a card or exile up to a 1 target card from a grave. Wow! This thing's great for 2 mana, holy shit. Just look at the Spirits Discord previews and spoiler section. I've been avoiding it because I knew I was gonna look today. Merfolk God. Oh yeah, yo, so I did see on Twitter that that Nikachu finally got his Merfolk God, and so okay, so I lied. So I guess I did see one spoiler card. That's on me. I did see that card because it was all over Twitter because everybody in the mods was tagging Nikachu in it. That card looks pretty godlike. Oh, haha. Unintentional pun there. What's this? Oh, it's a green Urborg. Cool. Okay. I'm here for this. I'm actually surprised they didn't make it a Mythic. But, yeah, that's kind of cool. A green Urborg. Nice. Legion Vanguard, huh? Alright, so 1 in a black for a 2/2. Sacrifice somebody else and this thing explores? Sure, why not? Next. What? Ah! That's cute. Not only did they put Mirari's Wake and Upheaval in the set, they even put them next to each other. That's cute. Alright, kids. That's adorable. So, this is before my time, but apparently Mirari's Wake plus Upheaval was actually a deck. Like, you would play these two in the same deck. You would use Mirari's Wake and then, like, float a shit ton of mana, and then, like, Upheaval, but you're still floating a shit ton of mana, so, like, you can play cards. But since Upheaval returns all permanents, not all non-land permanents, you basically start the game over, except you have shit in play because you started with Mirari's Wake and you got to put cards in. So, this looks, I cannot believe they actually put these next to each other. They so knew what they were doing with this. That is so great. Piru to Volatile, huh? Oh my god. Mardu, and 2, so 8 total. Oh, it's one of those Elder Dragons. That's old. Okay. So Flying Lifelink, sacrifice unless you pay Mardu. When it dies, it deals 7 damage to each non-legendary creature, but it's got Lifelink, so if you let it be a sweeper, then it does like a shit ton. There was even people who played those 2 cards with Dream Halls. Oh my god. Yeah, now you're talking way before my time. I am aware of what Dream Hall does, but I don't know that I've ever played Magic in a time period where Dream Hall was a relevant Magic card. Yeah, whatever. It's a big giant dragon, does a thing. Kind of cool. I actually like the sweeper part because, like, when it does the sweeper thing, it does the damage, and it has lifelink, so I think you still gain a shit ton of life when you do that. So that was really cool. Constable of the Realm, what are you? 5 mana, 3/3, Renown 2. Whenever you get counters on this thing, you exile... Oh, cool. So you Oblivion Ring every time you get a +1 counter on this thing, and that includes the Renown bit. That's kind of cool. What are you? Academy Manufacturer, huh? If you would create a food, clue, or a treasure token, instead you get one of each of those things. Oh, that's kind of sweet. The card is the biggest meme of the year, the dragon. Is it? I don't even know why this would be a meme. Unless you're talking something EDH related, because, like, I don't play EDH, so I would be unaware of that. But, like, I don't... Why is this card even, like, meme-worthy? It's just cute. Like, I'm sure this is going to be a thing in EDH somewhere, but, like, it's not actually good enough to see play in Modern. Like, it's just a card that isn't terrible if you're trying to do something cheat, like on barrier rights or something. I guess. What's this? Persit. Oh! Whoa! Whoa! Shit! Never mind on burial rights. Oh, non-legendary, non-legendary. Still very cool. Oh, hi. Oh, translation reasons. Oh, no. The only language I speak is English. Help me out here. Wait a minute. Oh. Crap, it did the thing. Oh, I think I just figured it out. I assume Piru's first name is the same as another 4-letter word, isn't it? Alright, I think I just figured it out. I'm not gonna go to Google Translate, but I assume I'm right. Of course it is. So what language is this a body part in? Is it like, I know you said you're from Brazil, right? So is it Portuguese, or is it, I guess a different language like Italian or something else? Like, what language is Piru, not family friendly in? It is? Oh, okay. All right, so we figured it out, but okay, that's really it is Portuguese. Okay, that's really funny. Okay, so that makes sense now. Okay, so I know why it's a meme. That's really funny though. Okay, so I'm also a giant child because now I'm laughing at it. But yeah, this animate dead thing, man. This is target a non-legendary creature and you just get to reanimate it with a -1 counter. It's literally animate dead but a sorcery. Yo, this thing. Oh my god, this is so good. Like, bro, this is nuts. Wow, Brewers are gonna go absolutely apeshit over this thing. Wow. So, I know they just put the Sarah's Emissary out, the big-ass angel thing that says you and other creatures you have protection from a card type. I wonder how many other really good non-legendaries there are in Modern to go with this. Like, you could just have, like, all kinds of really, really wild, cheaty shit, right? Like, you can have, like, Sundering Titan, like the big-ass angel. You can have, Angel of Serenity, even. There's a lot of stuff you could do with this thing. So, I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what happens with a potential reanimate shell in Modern. And I think I'm actually going to keep doing this like this. I can open new tabs here and then keep my place. This feels much better. Kind of wish I had figured that out a few, like, months ago. So Feast of Sanity, huh? Whenever you discard a card, you deal a damage to any target and you gain a life? Sure, why not? I'm sure there's a deck here somewhere. I mean, 4 is a lot for this kind of effect, but the card Waste Not exists, so maybe this is a thing somewhere? I don't know. Somebody cutesy can play this thing. Too bad it's only you discard and not your opponent discards. But, I don't know. I feel like this card might still find some theme around itself. Honestly, it'll probably be like an EDH All-Star. Like, I'm sure there's some kind of, like, Wheel of Fortune deck out there just waiting to be explored. Greed. Oh, that's a reprint. This card's old as shit. So, yeah. Pay a black, pay 2 life, draw a card. It's from, like, Mercadian Masks or some shit. But yeah, this will not see constructed play, but it's still a cool card. It's a nice throwback. What are you, Llanowar Tribe? Oh, that's a remix. This is already done. What's this? Gifts of the Fae, huh? Or maybe Gifts of the Fae. We'll find out. At the beginning of each end step, if you cast a creature and a non-token or non-creature spell this turn, you get a clue, a food, and a treasure. Ah, cute. Alright. Scale Up got a remix, okay. Landscaper Kolos, huh? Oh my god, that's a lot. Oh, ew. Alright, next. Mental Journey. Well, you cost 6 and you draw 3 cards and you basic land cycle. Alright, back button it is. World Weary. 5 mana, more land cycling, -4/-4. Sure. Actually, the picture is kind of sweet though. I really like this picture. Card's not good, but the picture is great. Battle Plan, more basic land cycling. Target creature gets +2/+0, but it's an enchantment. Orchard Strider, a 6/4 that makes 2 food tokens, more land cycling. Okay, now that we're past the land cyclers. Oh, okay, that's a lot of text. 3 mana instant, 5 mana flashback. Lots of interesting cards for Pauper in this modern set. So far, I've seen some stuff that looks really interesting, for sure. I don't play Paupers, so there's not really much meaning for me in there, but there's definitely some stuff that looks really interesting, for sure. So what do we do? Reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a non-land card. Put the revealed cards on the bottom of your deck in a random order. When you reveal a non-land this way, this deals damage equal to that card's mana value to any target. Meh. At least this card is better than most of those other ones, though, because, like, with this Calibrated Blast, you at least get to reveal the card and see the CMC before deciding what the target is. And most of those type of cards are the other way around. Like, you have to declare a target first, and then maybe the reveal card sucks or it doesn't suck. So at least this one you get to control a little more, but I still don't like cards like this. So I'm just gonna hit the back button here. Calibrated Blast, Harmonic Prodigy, huh? What are you? Prowess, nah. If an ability of a shaman or another wizard you control triggers, that ability triggers an additional time. What? Oh, another. Okay. I was gonna say, they just gave us another super prowess card, but it does say another wizard, but it still triggers... Shit. Lumimancer triggers twice. This thing only triggers once because it says another wizard. What else are wizards? Soulscar Mage is a wizard. Abbot of Carol Keep is a wizard, but this is a 2-drop that'll probably take that spot. So I guess in the white-red deck, it's just Lumimancer and another copy of this thing if you have 2 of them out, and Soulscar Mage. Each get their prowess things doubled up. Dreadhorde Arcanist. I mean, yeah, but I'm only talking about specifically the word prowess or prowess-like effects. So it's definitely true that other wizards and stuff will do their things twice. Like Dreadhorde Arcanist is a zombie wizard, Snapcaster Mage is a human wizard, and then like shamans can do their thing too. I don't know what relevant shamans there are, but that's a whole nother deck too. Like if you're playing a shaman, chances are that has nothing to do with the prowess deck. But yeah, but you're right though, like when Arcanist attacks, you get to cast 2 spells with this thing. When Snapcaster comes into play, you get to cast 2 spells with Snapcaster, provided you have the mana. Young Peasy's Young Peasy's a human shaman, you're right. Oh, is whatchamacallit a shaman too? Or is it a wizard? Sedgemoor Witch. Sedgemoor Witch is a human warlock. Okay, so Sedgemoor Witch doesn't trigger. But you're right, Young Pyromancer is a human shaman. So whenever you cast a spell, you'll be getting 2 tokens. You're totally right about that. Alright, so this thing's got a lot of potential, and honestly, this might be the card that the white-red deck was kind of looking for. Because, like, yeah, sure, Leonin Light Scribe was like fine, but it wasn't actually good. Like, this thing gets actual prowess, so it still does the same thing as Leonin Light Scribe most of the time, because realistically, Light Scribe's friends aren't going to survive to let Light Scribe be great. And also, like, just giving Lumimancer and Soulscar Mage the ability to double up on their prowess or prowess-like things still seems like a good enough reason to play this card. Like, I feel like this thing definitely has a lot more potential than Leonin Light Scribe. And also being a 1/3 is actually a lot better than being a 2/2. Like, the extra point of toughness is really, really good when you're living in a world that, like, Lava Dart plus Lava Dart Flashback exists, or people are actually playing 2 damage removal spells like Bone Crusher Giants and Wild Slashes and shit. So, like, the fact that this thing's a 1/3 is actually really, really relevant. And yeah, I think this might actually be the card that seals the deal for the white-red deck to, like, be a real deck. Not necessarily looking forward to that, but I think that's... yeah, this might actually be the card they were looking for. I don't know how much I enjoy that fact, but I think that's what's going to happen here. So, yeah, if you see a lot of people playing white-red because this card exists now... actually, I like the sketch art better than the regular, too. Yeah, this looks sweet, too. Yeah, wow, that's a thing. Alright. Whoa, 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 what the fuck? What the fuck is this? I know I just skipped a card. I know I just skipped a card. Oh, yeah. Well, that's a thing. Alright, well, Burn's already doing well. Oh man. This card's annoying as shit. It's so efficient. Like, yeah, sure, it's each player, but, like, Burn has shown in the past that they just do not give a fuck about this. Wow, that's OD. Non-targeting, 4 damage to each player. Oh, Mylanta, that's great. What are you? So you reanimate, but they get a +1, or you reanimate 2 little guys? Okay. Wow, Flame Rift? Oof. Okay. Oh, they better not give us fucking progress too. But, wow, this card is so efficient in the Burn decks. Wow, Burn is... I mean, yes, they did just put a lot of really powerful shit for other decks too. But Burn with Flame Rift? Oh my fucking god, we are gonna have to look out. Like, Burn is actually like a ultra real contender with this thing. Like, you can already win matches with Burn, and Flame Rift is very good. I am not looking forward to playing against that. Alright, so what do you do? 5 mana 4/4 Flying Dragon. You cost 1 less for each land your opponents control that could make colorless. And when this thing enters the battlefield, you destroy target non-basic. Shit, that's good. So if you're on to play, you make your 3rd land drop. They make Tron Land A, Tron Land B. You get to blow up their Tron Land? Shit, that's cool. And it only cares about lands that specifically could produce colorless, so it doesn't actually give a fuck about, for example, Seachrome Coast, Hallowed Fountain, anything that makes colors or is non-basic but does not specifically make colorless. Okay. At least it isn't Fire Blast. I mean, at least it isn't Fire Blast, I guess. You're not wrong. Like, Fire Blast would just be the, okay, guys, I see what you're doing, it's pushed. But Flame Drift is still really good. Like, it's really good. It might actually be, like, better than Lightning Helix, because between Boros Charm and Flame Rift, you now have 2 different 2 mana 4 damage spells. So your deck is, like, ultra efficient, and you still get to play your cool shit, like your Skewer the Critics and stuff. Charmaw is the second F-Tron of the set. Yo, for real, like, this thing is, yeah. They're letting Tron know, like, hey, guys, fuck you. I mean, I don't think this is going to be good enough to completely shut down Tron, But the red decks that want this will certainly appreciate it there. Like, this card's really good. And yeah, I don't know. I like it. Card's good. I will probably look for an excuse to play this at some point. Arc Bond Whelp, huh? What do you do? 4 mana, Dragon, Modular. Okay, next. That one's not terribly interesting. A sweet picture. That is a really, really cool looking picture. Vidalcan Infiltrator, can't be blocked, Metalcraft, 2/3. Okay, sure. It's not an artifact itself. Lonus Cryptozoologist. Alright. Let's... Whenever a non-token creature enters a battlefield under your control, you investigate. Okay. That's already really good. Also, with the amount of free spells we're seeing lately, maybe Lavinia may be useful as a sideboard option. Actually, I was just going to talk about that later. So Lavinia is very, very good, and I was, there's a whole discussion coming on that, so yes. So for anybody else watching, yeah, Lavinia Azorius Renegade, I'll actually pull her up now, because she's already seeing a lot of play in, Vintage, for this reason. Like, she's very, very good when she's stopping things. Yeah, so each opponent can't cast non-creature spells with CMC greater than the number of lands that player controls, and whenever an opponent casts a spell, if no mana was spent to cast it, counter that spell. So this card provides a couple of really good functions, specifically in Vintage, but now maybe she sees a little more play in Modern. They can't cast non-creature spells with CMC greater than whatever the thing was. So if they're playing, for example, Tron, and they have 3 lands in play, they straight up can't even try to cast cards like Karn or Ugin. They can still cast cards like Thragtusk and Wormcoil Engine because it only says non-creature. The other cool thing about Lavinia, though, is that she will straight up counterspell any of the things that evoke for free. So like Subtlety or Grief or whatever the rest of the cycle we're going to see is. And she'll do a really good job at controlling all of that thing too. She will also stop like Force Negations and stuff too. So, or I guess technically the back half of Lava Dart if you care about that. But she's a very, very useful card, and she will put a big stop to a lot of what happens with those things. So I don't necessarily know that we as Spirits pilots might want to cast this card really ever. Yeah, I said Force Negation. But, like, yeah, she's already seeing a lot of play in Vintage because she stops a lot of free spells from just being cast in the first place. So, like, a lot of people are playing cards with Mishra's Workshop, and she puts a stop to that. She stops, like, Force of Wills and Dazes and stuff like that out of the opponent's end. She also stops, like, free copies of Gataxian Probe and stuff. So she does a lot of very solid work in the Vintage format. And if it turns out that she's also going to be good in this format, in Modern, because we're getting so many free spells like the Evoke Creatures, and, yeah, I think she's going to end up looking really good too. Especially if the deck takes off where, oh, what is it called? Whatever the Gaia's, is it Gaia's Will? Will of Gaia? Whatever the Yawgmoth's will is, that's green. So she can also put a cold stop to that. So she's got a lot of potential, and I think I am excited to see if she ends up taking off. I don't know that we will want to be the ones playing her, but there's potential. So I don't know. We'll find out. All right. So what's this? Oh yeah. So creature means investigate. We already saw that part. So you tap, sacrifice X clues. Target opponent reveals the top X cards of their deck. You get a non-land permanent with mana value X. Oh, and you get it? Cool. Wow, this card's really good. Even, honestly, the second half of this card could straight up not exist, and this card would still rock. Like, the part where you sacrifice the clues to, like, steal their cards, that part of the card could literally just not exist, and this card would still be playable. Yeah, this card's great. Ignoble Hierarch. Oh, man, I've heard about this. Yeah, it's a Noble Hierarch for Jund colors. I don't know. There's a lot of people who could just like write full books about this. I don't think I need to add to the people writing books about this card, but I will definitely say that this card, being Jund colors, I legitimately think this card may be better than Noble Hierarch in Modern. Like, being Jund colors is so good, and oh my god. Yeah, this card's insane. It's very, very good. Noble Hierarch is already... Well, we know how good Noble Hierarch is. Nobody needs to tell anybody about that. And giving... And it's a goblin, too? That's relevant. It's actually got a good creature type, too? I mean, shaman, whatever. But, like, goblins? Goblins are super relevant. Well, not super relevant, but goblins are pretty relevant. So, yeah. Ignoble Hierarch is going to be... I don't know. If you have any reason to play this, and you find these cards on the cheap, I would probably suggest grabbing them. I don't think I will ever have a reason to want to cast this card, so I'm not going to grab any. But if you think you're going to play, I don't know, Boomer Jund, Zoomer Jund, shit, Infect might want this. Ponza might want this. Yeah, there's so many decks that really, really would love having access to a very good mana dork. Like, there's already a few decks out there that were like using Noble Hierarch for a while, even though they could only use like the green mana from Noble Hierarch and just ignoring the white and blue because she was that good. And Ignoble Hierarch will probably let those decks just, you know, kind of be that much better because they're able to actually use the black and red mana. Like, remember there was the black-green Infect deck running around for a while that still played Noble Hierarch, but they got to play the 3-mana First Strike Infect Protection from White and Red one. Phyrexian Crusader, sounds right? Yeah, it's the opposite of Mirror Crusader. Phyrexian Crusader. So they played Phyrexian Crusader, they played the 2-mana 1/1 flyer in black, and wow, yeah, and they still played Noble Hierarch because like just the Exalted plus making extra green was good enough. But now you have this Ignoble Hierarch that's able to add you green and black in that deck, and honestly, that deck's probably really good. Like, I mean, okay, that's medium true. It's probably playable. I don't know about really good because of how good Lava Dart is, but outside of the Lava Dart matchups, I think that deck has a lot of potential. So yeah, look for people to be playing that again. Very cool. What are you? Dragon's Rage Channeler, huh? Human Shaman, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, surveil one. Ooh. Delirium gets +2 flying and has self-taught? Oh shit, it's like a bad Delver. Actually, whoa. Ooh, am I capping? Creature instant sorcery land? No, it's like a good Delver. Oh my god. Oh, yeah. Liliana turn 2. And that's where I was saying, like, Boomer Jund might actually want the Ignoble Hierarch. Yeah, by Boomer Jund, I mean the one with, like, you know, Liliana of the Veils and Bloodbraid Elves. And Zoomer Jund, I mean Jund Death Shadow. A Naya Hierarch would make more sense. It would be good in Naya Zoo. But then you'd have to play Naya Zoo. I don't want to play Naya Zoo. Yeah, I might have undersold this card at first glimpse. Because, like, creature instant sorcery and land, that's good enough to proc Delirium by itself. And if you're surveilling every single time, wow, this is actually stupid good. Because even with the self-taunt, this is... yeah, this card's great. Like, you get to surveil every time you cast a non-creature spell. Wow, this card is like... it's like almost Delver plus. Because creature instant sorcery land is so easy in the world of Legacy that, like, You just play this thing. You can brainstorm to put shitty cards on top of your deck and then cast another spell to like almost undo the bad part of your brainstorm, you know? Or you could just like cast your things relatively easily, right? Like say they deal with your first copy of your Delver or another copy of this Dragon's Rage Channeler and they kill it, and then you just have like a random instant like a Force of Will, negation, force or daze, whatever. A sorcery like Ponder or Preordain, and then like any land, like a fetch land or a wasteland. That already is ultra easy to do in the world of Legacy. And Blue-Red Delver is already probably the best deck in Legacy too. So I really see this thing to take off for sure. This card is way better than I thought it was going to be at first glimpse. Alright, sick. Yeah, this card's nuts. I don't know how good it's going to be in the world of Modern. I don't know if anybody gives a fuck about this in Modern. But in Legacy, this card's going to be actual batshit insane. Wow. Yeah. Alright. Flay Essence, huh? Oh, that's cute. Exile a creature or planeswalker. You gain life equal to the number of counters on it. That's adorable. Okay. Vectus Gloves? What do Vectus Gloves do? +2/+0 in Artifact Landwalk? Okay, sure. I guess. Oh! You're the Merfolk God. Svelin? Svelin, God of the Sea in the Sky. If I'm pronouncing that wrong, somebody let me know. But for now, I'm going to say Svelin. So if you control 2 other merfolks, this thing is indestructible. When it attacks, you draw a card, and other merfolk you control have Ward 1, and it's a 3/4. I see why they were so excited. This card's great. Wow, even Legendary, you'd still probably want to play 3 of this. This card's really good. And, like, drawing a card every time this thing attacks, and then not being a little 2/2. Like, the ward is probably not ultra relevant because it comes out on turn 3. So, like, people can pay for their Fatal Pushes and their Lightning Bolts and stuff. But, honestly, even when there's no other merfolk on a table, this thing's still really good because you can just draw a card every time this thing attacks. Yeah, this card's... I see why they were so excited. This card's just really good. I have nothing bad to say about this. This is... I'm not going to go so far as to say it's exactly what Merfolk wanted because I don't believe that's true. But this card goes a long way. Like, this card's very, very good. Like, getting them additional card draw on top of Silvergill Adept and any copy of Spreading Seas they want, it does mean that the Merfolk decks can, like, churn through their deck pretty quickly. At least for a creature deck, you know? Without having to dedicate bullshit cards like, you know, Serum Vision and Opt into their deck. They can just go with their regular game plan of attacking people and still draw cards along the way. So that still seems really good. Just... on the off chance that you can give this thing indestructible, that's kind of cool. I think that's the least relevant text on this card, though. The Ward 1 seems decent. Not great, but decent. And the fact that it's a 3/4 and draws a card every time it attacks, that part is fucking A1. That part's great. So I am definitely looking forward to, I guess, a Nikachu write-up on this thing, because I'm sure that's happening in the next day or two. But as of right now, card looks great. What is this thing? Flying Demon, huh? That's what we know? Blah, 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 equal to a number of artifacts you control. Okay, sure. Phantasmal Dreadmaw. 4 mana, trample, 6/6 illusion. Sure. Okay. Oh, it's a common. That's kind of cool. I don't think this card's good enough to see play in anything, but it's still very cool. Oh, is this the bullshit spirit? It is the bullshit spirit. Y'all done play this. This is some bullshit. See, This is that shit I don't like. They on some real shit. So I am not that salty that this card is as bad as it is. The reason for that is that we already got cards like Suspend and Subtlety. And those cards, even though they technically don't have the word spirits on them, were almost printed for us. So I will still be pretty happy about the way this set has turned out for us, because the cards we have gotten for our archetype are still good enough, even if the actual spirit here is fucking trash. Seriously, like, what is this shit? The anti-spirit cabal strikes again? Yeah, like, discard this thing to make X target creatures gain flying when our whole deck already flies? Like, come on, guys, you're killing me. But we already got Subtlety, and we already got the card Suspend. So they did give us... We got some stuff. We got some stuff. The actual spirit is trash, but we did get real cards. Oh, this is where we stopped. I saw this yesterday with you guys. Yeah, whenever you cast a multicolor spell, create a 4/4 white-green thing. Okay, so this is where we saw cards yesterday. Yeah, we saw all of these. It was called Gaia's Will, too. Okay. So that's going to be the end of the spoilers so far, unless there's something else up top. I'll refresh. Archfiend of Sorrows, huh? 7 mana. Creatures your opponents control get -2s and then unearth for 5. Okay. So another card that's not completely unreasonable. So a thing I'm going to do here, I'm going to go ahead and open up Arena, because I also want to just jam some historic matches with Mono Blue. Oh, and I guess Arena has to do an update. Okay, fine. While I'm also thinking about it now, I'm going to open up the regular Magic Online over here too, and actually submit my Mana Traders list, because I don't want to fuck around and forget to submit my deck list, because I did that one time. Oops. I'm also gonna like rent my cards from them real quick too, so. Nice wallpaper. Oh yeah, I love Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem is so good. So, and this is gonna be my little 2 seconds of gushing around Fire Emblem too, so while I'm thinking about it. So, Fire Emblem is a game that I've been lucky enough to play. Yeah, it's so good. I wish I knew who actually like drew this so that I could give them credit, but I don't know. And with Fire Emblem, specifically 3 houses out of the Switch, so I got really lucky, right? Like, I happen to be 36-year-old, and that puts me at exactly the right time period to have been 18 years old when the first Game Boy Advance Fire Emblem came to the US. So I just got really, really lucky. And Blazing Blade came out right when I was at the right age to, I was 18, I was able to earn my own money, start buying my own stuff, so I had my Game Boy Advance, and Fire Emblem came out, and I was like, oh, I kind of like Chrono Trigger, I kind of like Final Fantasy games, let's see what this one's about, right? And I got Fire Emblem, and holy fuck was I hooked, right? So, like, it ended up being super good, and then, after Blazing Blade came out, and this is like, what, a year or two later, Sacred Stones came out, and Sacred Stones was even better, and I'm like, yo, what is this? So, oh my god, I was so hooked, and that's basically been the entire story of my, my life as far as the franchise has gone after that, and god, there are not many video game series that I love more than Fire Emblem. Like, the list is very, very short. And with 3 houses, Advance Wars was also really good. Facts. Advance Wars was real good. I didn't get so much into the ones that came after, what was it called? I think Dual Strike. I think that's where I stopped. But it was still Fire Emblem Awakening, I didn't like that one. Conquest was good. Sure. Like some of the more recent ones, the ones where you could like, I don't know, like breed your own babies and stuff like that, that felt a little weird to me. And they did kind of like try hard into a lot of the sexual jokes and stuff. So if they seemed a little too teenagery for you, that makes sense to me. I can get behind that. But when like Three Houses came out, I was already gonna play it, right? Because like I was just always gonna try it. And then I played Three Houses and I was like, yo, this game is like actually just really good. But there's enough appeal, I believe, to non-Fire Emblem fans just because of all the different characters. They fleshed people out and they tried really hard to give people more fleshed out personalities that you could actually explore a little more than you used to be able to in previous Fire Emblem games, like with the tea parties and stuff. You got to have your support conversations, and that hasn't changed, but the support conversations in Three Houses are ultra detailed. Fire Emblem is leaning hard into the whole dating sim thing, which, to be fair, is actually very good for Fire Emblem. Like, I recommend me to take a look at Wargroove. Let's Google what Wargroove is, because I have no idea. Wargroove. Turn-based tactics game, Chucklefish, the Switch, Windows, and Xbox. Okay. Yeah. Alright. I'm gonna take a look at this. How much is it? Like 20 bucks? Ah, cool. Alright, so I have that set aside on my page too. It's basically Advanced Wars with medieval fantasy. Okay. So yeah, so I might end up checking that out. I'll watch a couple of video reviews and stuff later, see if that's interesting to me. If so, awesome, I might even stream it. If not, then hey, you tried. So what I got to do with Three Houses, because of the way they fleshed out all the character development and stuff, I actually showed it to Kristen, because anybody who's played Three Houses will know that, you know, if like how'd I say? So Three Houses is very, very good for people who like dating sim style of games. Like it's very much a dating sim with RPG elements. There's even a campaign editor, cool. And Kristen loves stuff like dating sims, so I was like, yo, check out this game. Like, I've already beaten it once, but there's actual replay value. And I explained to her a little bit of what the game was, but I told her that the reason I wanted her to play the game had nothing to do with the game itself. I wanted her to interact with all the different characters and stuff. And, well, now she's got like 300 hours logged on to Three Houses. Like, she's played the game almost as much as I have. Like, I've got like 430 or 440 something hours into it. And, like, she absolutely loved Three Houses. Like, it was so good. And whatever the next iteration of Fire Emblem is, whether it's on the Switch or whether it's on whatever generation is next after the Switch, I am very much looking forward to trying that out. So what I'm doing now is, oh, exactly that. I'm grabbing my cards from Mana Traders so that I can actually have my deck to play on Saturday too. So let's do this. Okay. But yeah, so I'm pretty happy though. Like, it's a franchise that is basically stuck around with me through my entire adult life. I have everything. Yes, I have everything. Okay, cool. So now that I have everything, I can submit my deck list. So let me go to my email and do that. And I'm doing this now because I know full well I will forget if I allow myself to start doing non-magic stuff. Here's this. Submit your deck to play Swiss. Oh, do I have to... Is there a thing... Oh, I never remember how to do this. You'd think I would remember how to do this by now. Alright. Export. Upload the deck. Desktop. Okay. Save deck. Here we go. Okay, cool. So we got that. Now let's refresh this thing. Okay, cool. Yes, I am sure I will play with this deck. Alright, cool. So deck list submitted. And they sent me an email and all that other happy horse shit. Sweet. Why Giver of Runes over Selfless Spirits? Will you take a Giver of Runes for Spirits? Yeah, sure. So the reason I want to play Giver of Runes rather than Selfless Spirit is because if you take a look at what the metagame looks like, for the most part, Selfless Spirit doesn't actually do anything right now. And I know that this has been a thing that other people have definitely played to some success. I simply have just not enjoyed having the card in my deck for the most part lately. Because, like, it does, like, nothing here against the best deck, right? Like, you'll see that it's a little under 9% in the metagame, and this deck plays 4x Lava Dart, and Lava Dart just kills Selfless Spirit for free. So I'm trying to run as few X1s in this deck as possible. So I've got the Giver of Runes, and I do have Thalia. Thalia's for a lot of other matchups, like, she's fine against Prowess, but not great. But Giver of Runes is just good at protecting from all of the spot removal that I am a little worried about. And also, Spectral Sailor is kind of medium right now. Like, I don't really want to play Spectral Sailor in an environment where there's a lot of, like, red and 6s, there's a lot of Lava Darts, there's a good amount of Plague Engineers. I want to be able to actually make sure I'm able to keep my threats around past the Lava Darts, potentially, but also past, like, the Lightning Bolts and the Fatal Pushes and stuff. And Selfless Spirit is okay at that. Giver of Runes is pretty excellent at that, but also Spectral Sailor is kind of trash right now, I think. So I wanted to try Giver of Runes in those same spots to give myself a still low to the ground curve while also evading opponent's removal as much as I am able to, especially against the best decks. So I'm playing this weekend because of the fact that I know this is a Mana Traders tournament, and the Mana Traders tournaments are a little small, and they can, honestly, like, the metagame for the Mana Traders tournaments can be a little inbred. So I really do not expect to fight too much off meta stuff, which means I don't expect to fight too much. For example, I don't really expect to fight, like, any blue-white control. Any of the control decks that I fight will probably be Esper. Why would you go... Oh, would you go Bant when you can get Prismatic Ending? I do not plan on playing Bant Spirits for Prismatic Ending because I want to play blue-white so that I can play Subtlety. However, Prismatic Ending will be very good. The Prismatic Ending is real good. But I also just don't really like Bant. At least not right now. It's been a pretty long time since I've actively enjoyed playing Bant. But some of y'all have gotten to see when, like, I try casting cards like Collected Company. Collected Company is not my friend. Collected Company, it just does, it's really bad when it's in my hands. But also, like, Noble Hierarch just still dies to the Lava Darts and Ren and 6s of the world. But also, the Burn deck also just got Flame Rift. So, I don't know that I want to play Bant that happens to be weak to Burn anyway. But when you need lands, you get it. Yeah, like, don't get me wrong, Noble Hierarch is very good when it's good, but I don't think I want to play Bant. I I'm not going to say Bant is bad because I don't believe that. But I will definitely go on record as saying I just do not like Bant right now. But yeah, so going back to what most of the metagame looks like, right? So, for the most part, I think I want to be on, yeah, I really just want to be on, like, Giver of Runes, like, against this deck. I think Giver of Runes is much better, because it can actually, Lava Dart is so hard on Bant, for sure, yeah, Lava Dart sucks. But, like, it can also give you the ability to, like, block Stormwing Entity by just giving your creatures Pro Blue. So, like, that's a real thing. Through the Breach, they don't really play too many sweepers. They do have the 2 EEs, but, like, that's kind of easy to manage. And they do have Anger of the Gods, but, like, that's a sorcery. So, like, their 2 sweepers are really easy for us to manage, but their spot removals are a little harder to manage because they have, like, the 4 Lightning Bolts, 4 Snapcasters. They also side into, like, Flame Slash and stuff. So Giver of Runes does a great job there. We also get to have, excuse me, like Esper Control. They don't really play too many actual sweepers. They will play like 2 Damnations out of the sideboard, but like Damnation's pretty easy to manage since you can counter Damnation. It's not like Supreme Verdict that's a lot harder to get around. But they have like the Ops, the Fatal Pushes, the Go for the Throats, and those are going to be the things that you really want to manage with like Giver of Runes because it makes life very easy. Also, you're not that sad if you sacrifice a Giver of Runes to Kaya's Guile, like, okay, fine. Like this deck, again, not very heavy on the sweeper end. They play like 1 Supreme Verdict with the Bring to Light, but you can counter a Bring to Light so easily that who gives a fuck. But they do have a lot of spot removal that we care about. Like they have Renin 6s, they have Lightning Helixes, they have Assassin's Trophies, they have Prismari Commands, and all of those things are in really high numbers. So being able to give your creatures pro color is really good. And since they don't play 1 mana removal, making them cast like 2 and 3 mana at a Giver of Runes just so that they can, you know, clear out a spot to try to get rid of a creature they do care about, that's a whole turn for them. We're busy killing them. So that just feels really good when we're able to do that. So that's going to be a lot of why I think Giver of Runes for this meta will probably be a better choice for me this weekend. But then when you're back in the leagues and stuff, I will probably go back to like a more standard deck, right? Like I'll take like these spots out and then we'll go back to being able to playing like Unsettled Mariner if you do want that spot. You'll be able to play Spectral Sailor instead of the Giver of Runes. I think these Brazen Bowers here can just go back to being like really anything else, like Selfless Spirits or whatever else you want to play there. But also, after Modern Horizons released, I don't think I'm going to be playing anywhere near this many white cards. I will probably play something more like this, where we've got the 22 lands, so that we can cast the 4 copies of Subtlety that are not existent yet, but will go in this spot. And you'll see that everything else other than Aether Vials and Skyclave Apparition happens to be blue, so that you can pitch to Subtlety a lot more reliably. So I will probably play something like this, obviously pending the rest of the Modern Horizons 2 spoilers. So if we get another Super 6 Spirit, then obviously I'm going to want to play that. But if we, assuming we don't get another Spirit that we want to play, I think these 4 spots here will be where I want to play Subtlety. And this deck is already 56 cards. I'm playing 22 lands so that we can somewhat reliably actually cast Subtlety as a 4-drop too. So it can basically be like a much better Venser for us. So that's kind of what I'm looking forward to being able to do. But those are going to be my reasons as to why I'm playing a list like this for this weekend, because I think this will solve the decks I am planning on looking at this weekend. Like, the Brazen Bowers will be effectively Skyclave Apparitions number 5 and 6, which will help a lot because they have the ability to get rid of Portable Hole. Well, Portable Hole's not coming out until after Modern Horizons 2, so we're not going to be able to know all of what's coming out for Dungeons & Dragons until, like, July, because that's when the set's coming out. I expect to want to play Portable Hole, but there's also 2 whole months between now and then. So, honestly, God fucking knows what's going to happen between now and July. I expect to want to play Portable Hole because I think it's going to be very good for us. And the fact that Portable Hole Did you already talk about Suspend? Suspend was yesterday, but the answer is yes. Suspend was a very, very, very nice looking card for us. And matter of fact, this list here is a list that I plan on playing Subtlety in, and I think that all of these spots that I am currently occupying with cards like Declaration in Stone and Chalice of the Void, once Modern Horizons 2 comes out, those spots will be a little better suited because we will want to play the card Suspend, I believe. So like these Declaration in Stones and Chalices honestly can kind of beat it because I'll want to play the card Suspend, and we will probably want to play something else that comes out in between now and then. We'll find out. Excuse me. So I'll be looking really forward to taking out these not as good removal spells in the Declaration and at least playing Suspend in that spot, and then seeing whatever else happens, because like there's a lot of stuff that we'll need to be able to prepare for. But I am definitely planning on at least trying Suspend for us. Like, between Subtlety and Suspend, I expect us to be in a really, really great spot. Is Chalice of the Void still playable? I'm actually playing 4 of them this weekend. So, like, my sideboard is right here. And I will be playing 4 Chalice of the Void this weekend. I don't know if I will want to play Chalice of the Void once Modern Horizons 2 comes out. Because we are getting cards like Subtlety and like Suspend, but it could still be the case that Prowess is so good that we will still want to cast copies of Chalice of the Void, especially with the new Prowess creature that we just saw earlier. Let me go find its name. It's a 1/3 for 2, and it gives all of your wizards effectively double Prowess. Was there something new up here, or did I get everything? Nope, we got everything. So where is the red card? Not you. Here it is, Harmonic Prodigy. So this thing right here, if an ability of a shaman, or irrelevant, or another wizard, very relevant, you control triggers, it triggers an additional time. So like, if you have 2 copies of this Harmonic Prodigy, each will give the other double prowess, but also each one of these Harmonic Prodigies will give your Clever Lumomancers and your Soulscar Mages additional prowess triggers. So I think prowess is still going to be good enough to the point where, you know, you might still want to play copies of Chalice of the Void in your sideboard. So depending on whatever else comes out in Modern Horizons 2, that may or may not end up being true, but more than likely you'll want to... It also doubles Seasoned Pyromancer triggers. That's true. So Shaman is relevant there. That is definitely a thing. I don't know if anything wants to play both Harmonic Prodigy and Seasoned Pyromancer, but discarding 2 to draw 2 twice and getting the ability to double up on your tokens is still really good. So that might be a thing, especially with the reanimate or the animate dead that we just saw spoiled. So like, if you want to play, I don't know, like some Mardu style deck that has Seasoned Pyromancer and the animate dead and just like some big fatties to come up with, and then like Lingering Souls, that might be a deck. So it could very well be true that, you know, discarding 4 to draw 4 ends up just being really fucking good, because that sounds like the kind of effect that a lot of decks would actively want access to. So maybe that's a thing. Since I don't really like that style of deck, I will not be brewing for it, but I'm sure somebody is gonna look at it and just be like, wow, you know. So between like Unburial Rites, between the animate that we just saw, Goryo's Vengeance is a thing that exists, although Goryo's Vengeance is legendary, the animate that is non-legendary, so I don't know, figure that out. But somebody will make some kind of Reanimator deck, and it might be really good. We'll find out. I almost hope it's not really good, but I kind of hope it is, because I like seeing cool stuff. I don't know, we'll find out. But for now, this is the list that I want to play with. I do want to play with Chalice of the Void this weekend, because I think Prowess is going to be fucking everywhere. Like, I expect this Mana Traders tournament to be 8 rounds, and in 8 rounds, I'll probably fight Prowess at least 3 times, and then probably fight Heliod like another 2. So I think, like, these Deicides are going to be really good. These 4x Chalice of the Voids are going to be really good. Disdainful Stroke is going to cover most of the other bases, like Control Decks, Tron, stuff like that. So I think I'm pretty okay. Like, I've got 3 Rest in Pieces, in case we do come across, like, the person playing Dredge trying to beat Prowess with it. And then also just like Force Negation covers just most other miscellaneous spaces. And Declaration in Stone is good against both Prowess and Dredge. So fingers crossed. And then like Giver of Runes can also just like protect Thalia against a lot of the real horseshit stuff that people might be trying to. So yeah, and what other shamans are relevant in Modern? I'm actually a little curious now. So let's do this. We're going to look for type line shaman. If I could type, that'd be great. We want modern legal cards, and I'm going to sort by mana value. So cards that do something. Technically Dragon Master Outcast, I guess, but like nothing wants to play to that many lands in the late game, right? That doesn't matter because you shuffle after the first one, so you still only get to search once. Nothing here. That doesn't do anything. Oh, Burning Tree gets you 4 mana. That's kind of cool. Visionary draws you 2. Non-creatures get 2 counters here. Nothing doing over here. Nothing. Let's see. Okay, so I guess there's not that many so far. Okay, yeah, so I guess there's really... Oh, that's kind of cool. Because you can untap Thermal Alchemist twice, so you get double triggers here. So that's a thing. Young Peasy gets double tokens. You mentioned that already. So I cannot take credit for that little discovery. Burning Tree Shaman's kind of cool. Chandra's doesn't do anything. Oh, untap twice. Okay. I guess that's a thing. I guess you get to naturalize a bunch of stuff if you need to. Eternal Witness is good. Oh my god. That might be a combo. So, like, Eternal Witness getting back 2 cards is really good. That's probably the biggest deal, actually. Like, if you have the Prodigy and Eternal Witness, you get back 2 cards. So, if you get back 2 cards, you just get to, like, Ephemerate plus something else, and then this thing will let you just do all of the combos. So, like, that might be something that really, really matters a lot. I don't know whether there is a true combo there. But I'm, like I said, I'm also like not a combo pilot. So, oh, that's good. No, I said that. I said Elvish Visionary. I don't know how much Elvish Visionary will matter, but yes, it will draw 2. But that came up when we went over to 2 CMC cards. In the Wizard department. No, Wizards. Wizards are going to be really good. The Wizards are going to be where, like, that ability matters so much. Gutter Snipe is also kind of cool. But then we're on, like, 3 CMC things, so. But yeah, I think the Wizards triggering twice is much more relevant than Shaman's triggering twice. Because, like, assuming absolutely nothing else happens, getting double prowess on Soulscar Mage and Clever Lumomancer is already good enough to give that card the ability to see play. Like, just giving Clever Lumomancer plus 4s every time you cast an instant or sorcery, that is a really, really big deal. I saw Ignoble Hierarch and laughed last night. Yeah, that card's really good. Like, there's so many good relevant Wizards. Like, I think Wizard is gonna just be absolutely batshit insane. Yeah, like, just giving this thing +4/+4 every time you cast, like, a Mutagenic Growth or something seems, like, absolutely absurd. But it's just so good. Sure, gain 2 life. What else is, like, kind of relevant, I guess? Add 4 mana to their mana pool with this thing. That's kind of sweet. Anything else is really good here? Double Snapcasters. Yeah, we did. We mentioned double Snapcasters. That one did come up. What was the other spell one? Damn. There was a whole conversation. Yeah, there was a whole conversation. Something else with spells, too. Dang it. I don't remember now. I mean, we're going to come across it because we're going through the list, but I'm just sad that I forgot it. Oh, that's not terrible. Double triggers on that. Counter something, you get to loot twice. I guess that's cute. Burning Prophet's not awful. Nope. Don't want that. Do not want double bobs. Dualcaster? No, that's not the one that came... Oh, Dreadhorde Arcanist. That's the one that came up in conversation. I mean, it is true that Dualcaster Mage is also going to be double triggered, but Dreadhorde Arcanist is the one that actually came up in conversation. So this is actually kind of sweet, right? Because, like, turn 1 Thoughtseize, turn 2 Dreadhorde Arcanist, turn 3 you get to play your Prodigy, attack with Dreadhorde Arcanist, and you still have a 3rd mana, right? So you can cast another spell pre-combat. So now when you cast your spell pre-combat, you get to trigger the prowess on the Prodigy. No, because it just came in. Never mind. But you still get to cast 3 spells. Like, it's still really sick. So you just get, like, so many spells with Dreadhorde Arcanist and the Prodigy. So that's very cool. So that was the other one that came up in conversation. Dualcaster Mage can definitely do a thing. I mean, I guess this can bounce 2 taps creatures, which is sweet. Oh, I'm sorry. By this, I mean Harbinger of the Tides. Hello, robot. Go away, robot. There we go. Oh no, the Heartfire Immolator does not work as you guys said it did. So this does not remove 2 creatures because that's an activated ability, not a triggered ability. There's now 2 Wizard Cyclers in Modern as well. They can get... Yes. So you're right about that. Umara Wizard, I think, is not good enough because, like, it costs 5 for, what, a 4/3? That's just nowhere near good enough for Modern. But there are 2 Wizard Cyclers, you're right. There's the Sliver, I think, that cycles for Wizards for some reason. And now there's the 5-drop of this that can bounce 2 creatures or Wizard Cycle. I don't think either of those cards are good enough to see play, but that is something that could be explored later. Meh. Medium. Oh, that's adorable. I know, but you can play it as a bad non-basic island. I think I'll pass on that. That is technically a thing that you have access to, but I do not think I want to do that. Too bad that's not triggered. That'd be kind of funny. You like play Meddling Mage, name 2 cards. Unfortunate. Trickster can tap 2 things. Okay. Oh yeah, more triggers. Again, double bobs, but we don't really want double bobs. I think that's not terrible. Like, you get to, you know, ponder for lands twice every time you cast a spell. Too bad it's only lands, but oh well. Hitting land drops is still pretty sweet. You get to copy your next spell again. So you get like 100 copies of whatever your next spell is if you play a Stormcaller. Anything cool for spirits yet? There's nothing cool that is specifically a spirit. We did get to see a spirit spoiled, but the spirit that was spoiled was kind of trash. It was like some really bad uncommon that gave your creatures flying. Cards that go into spirits, though, we actually did see a couple of those. So there's the card Suspend, which I think is going to be very good for us. And there's also the card Subtlety, which I think is also going to end up being good for us, even if there's no actual creature type spirit that goes in our deck. Oh, hey, more things. Okay, so we got a remixed Undead Augur and a Dermotaxi. What's this? So, as it enters a battlefield, you exile a creature card from a graveyard, And tap 2 untap creatures you control until end of turn. This thing becomes a copy of the imprinted card, except it's a vehicle as well. Okay. Meh. It's cute. It's good design. It is good design. So where were they? Here's Suspend. Yeah, so this card I think is really good for us. You exile a creature, you put 2 time counters on it, and then it gets Suspend, so it's not going to come back for an additional 2 turns, but it's instant speed too. It doesn't say anything like non-land or any mess like that, so you can get rid of like Inkmoth Nexuses, but it also does, or Inkmoth Nexi, whatever the multiple of Nexus is it still Nexus? Who knows? But you get to give a creature Suspend rather than having it on the table, and that's going to be really good for us because it'll just get big-ass problem creatures off the table, like Prime Times, Stormwing Entities, Dryads of the Elysian Armor, shit like that. But you don't have to play Path to Exile, so you don't have to like give them a land. And then we can just like kill them before the creature comes back. Ooh, excuse me. So that was really good. And then Subtlety was the other one that I really like. So let's see if I can find that kind of quickly. Here it is. So this card, I think, is like the absolute baller for us. We're slowly stepping into legacy territory with how efficient modern spells are getting over the years. It's getting close, yeah. Like, we're getting actual legacy cards printed into modern. And then cards like this are pretty much legacy level efficiency for sure. So it's a 4-mana 3/3 with Flash and Flying. So it's already on plan, right? Like Flash and Flying, a 4-mana 3/3. That card might as well be a Spirit. And then when it enters the battlefield, you choose up to 1 creature spell or planeswalker spell, and its owner puts it on top or bottom of the library. So basically it's Aether Gust. But it's a 4-mana 3/3 flyer, so it's like Venser that's much better in combat, and you get to Aether Gust a creature or a planeswalker. But you can also evoke it by exiling a blue card from your hand, so basically you get to like Force of Will / Aether Gust. But the cool part about Subtlety is that it even gets around shit like Cavern of Souls, because you're just putting the spell on top or the bottom. It's doesn't matter if you have followers if they're not real. Like, yeah, no, we don't do robots here. The robots gotta go. But I think this card's gonna be very good for us. It can't target permanents? No. But like, okay. We're pretty good at the permanents part of things though. Like, we got the Suspend card, so if we need to get a creature off the table, we can do that. We can still just play Skyclave Apparition to get rid of them. We can Shackle Guys to tap them down. This is gonna get rid of like the Primeval Titan from even resolving in the first place, which is what we actually want. Like, if Primetime resolves, that's where it really sucks to be us most of the time. It doesn't even really have to attack most of the time for it to just be really good. So I think this is where we are going to be really excited about being able to have this card as an option. So like, if it's 4 mana and it gets rid of a Primetime from resolving, we're happy about that. If it's 0 mana and it stops a Primetime from resolving, we're also happy about that. So I think this card is going to end up being one of those cards that looks subpar, but in practice will end up being very good. I'm really excited about playing with this thing. So once something has already resolved, then yes, it is too late for Subtlety to do anything, but we're playing Spirits. We can deal with stuff like that. Like, we can tap them down, we can Skyclave them, we can also just attack over most creatures, like, but this will help it to make it so that these things don't even get to the table in the first place. And I'm really excited about being able to effectively have an on-tribe Force of Will ready for us, because that's almost what it is. I would say Where's Burn's cool stuff, but I've always been a fan of Flame Rift, even if it's not amazing, since Boros Charm is just better. Well, yeah, Boros Charm is definitely better than Flame Rift, but you just play both. It's not like you're playing Flame Rift instead of Boros Charm. What they're going to do is play Flame Rift and Boros Charm. So I think they're going to have a really, really good time in the next few months, especially since, like, Burn will probably just say, okay, well, Lightning Helix has to go to the sideboard now. I'm just going to play Flame Rift instead, because 2 mana 4 damage is better than 2 mana 3 damage, even if the 3 mana heals, because you're not really trying to race most decks. You're just trying to kill most decks. So, like, if you're playing against Tron, for example, and you're on Burn, who gives a fuck about Lightning Helix? You don't need to gain 3 life. But you might care a lot about whether you're dealing 4 or whether you're dealing 3 to them. Actually, you usually do care a lot about whether you're dealing 4 or you're dealing 3. So there's going to be a thing where... and we haven't seen all the cards either. So remember, there was a thing in Mark Rosewater's spoiler list that straight up told us, hey, you're going to see something that lets a player cast a spell by sacrificing a mountain. We don't know what that spell is yet. So whenever we see whatever that spell is, it could be something that's very good for burn or very good for prowess or very good for both. We just literally don't know yet. And whenever that spell comes out, we'll then be able to determine whether we need to worry about it or not. But just keep that in mind. Like, we don't know all of the shit that they're doing yet because the whole spoiler isn't out. But if that card is even kind of good, then burn might be something we really need to look out for. So, I don't know, just keep your eyes peeled, and I will, of course, be doing the same. But I think this card, even though it is not a spirit, is very, very good for spirits. Like, I think this card, I will be trying this card as a 4 of to see if it is as good as I think it is. Mono red burn is a go now. It's budget, but it's actually semi-competitive. And you're not wrong. I think burn is one of those decks that, like, I think has always been at least kind of viable. And if you'll even notice where M. Hayashi for a pretty long time was playing mono red prowess, it's not like your deck needs to have all of these fetches and scalding tarns and fiery islets and all these other expensive cards to just be a decent good deck. You can just finish playing, and mono red's completely fine. Like, yes, you lose Boros Charm, but if you're playing Flame Rift, losing Lightning Helix is not that big of an issue. The only card that you're really losing out of the burn deck that you straight up feel like you need to play a lot of the time is, in fact, the Boros Charms. But you get the upside of freeing up a few spots. So if you're playing just like Goblin Guide, Monastery, Swift Spear, Eidolon, and the Great Revel as your creatures, you can just, you know, play your regular burn spells. But you also get to do things like playing Light Up the Stage, since you now have more flex spots to play with. You can play more Skullcracks in the main if you want to. You can even get away with playing cards like, what am I thinking? You can even get away with playing cards like Grim Lavamancer if you really want to, because you're freeing up a few flex spots here. I don't want Modern to shift into older formats, be unique. Don't get me wrong, like, I would not choose to play fetches in that build unless I am playing Grim Lavamancer. But if you are not playing Grim Lavamancers, fetches are honestly completely unnecessary. You could argue that playing fetches is a little better for Searing Blaze purposes, but even then, it's not totally necessary. It's just optimal. You can just get away with playing 20 mountains, and that's completely fine. How about Searing Blaze? Wouldn't losing that be a big deal? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you can still just make your regular land drops even without fetches and play Searing Blazes. Fetches are optimal, but if you can't afford fetches, then you don't need them to play Searing Blaze. You'll just have to play smarter. But that is one of those things that will happen if you are working on a budget. You'll have to, you'll just have to make some kind of compensation for it. That's all. Life total matters. Sometimes we play Horizons, and so fetches are not really needed. Yeah. So, like, fetches are very good, and fetches are the optimal lands to be playing for a lot of situations, but it is good to know that if you simply can't afford fetches, then there are definitely ways to play competitive Modern without needing fetch lands. Like, they are not absolutely necessary for a lot of decks. They are definitely optimal, but they are not necessary. And that's kind of where I wanted to, like, I guess, stress the difference there. Like Modern keeping its identity. I think Modern is definitely, like, shifting to be a more efficient format, but I don't know that it's going into, like, full-on Legacy territory yet, because, like, there's still a lot of stuff in Legacy that is going to be unique to that format, and probably always will be unique to Legacy. that Modern will straight up just like not get its hands on. And I think I'm actually good with that. So, for example, Legacy, while Delver is the best deck right now, Legacy is almost never a format in which creatures are the thing that matter the most, you know? Like, I think Legacy is going to be a format where spells are just much better than creatures. And there's not a lot that will change that about Legacy really ever. Like, Brainstorm's absurd. You can play Ponders and Preordains and stuff. And there's a lot of combo decks and things available to Legacy that will never exist in Modern. For example, like Show and Tell, stuff like Reanimator, like True Reanimator. And even some creature-specific things too. Like playing, for example, with the Monarch mechanic will probably never exist in Modern. Honestly, I hope it doesn't exist in Modern ever. Monarch is so polarizing. But there's a lot of stuff that will straight up never make its way to Modern, to the point where I think those formats are always going to be very different, and different enough to the point where there's really not much room to blend the two together. There will be occasionally hyper efficient cards printed into Modern, like Subtlety and like Grief and stuff, but I don't think that these are going to be enough to blur the lines between Modern and Legacy. I think they will simply make cards that can be played in Legacy, again, like the Subtlety, that do not take away from the identity of Modern or take away from the identity of Legacy. I think it's important that both have their own identities, and even though they are printing efficient cards that feel like Legacy cards, I don't think there's a lot of these cards that will straight up be good enough to... For example, I don't think Subtlety, outside of a couple of fringe decks, will actually be Legacy playable. Like, I think this card is just shy of actually being Legacy playable. Do you think Elementals can become something? Maybe. I don't think Elementals will become a thing with this set, but all of the cards are not spoiled. If you get a Elemental Lord that is just like, I don't know, say a 2-mana, 1/3 Elemental Lord that says your elementals have +1/+1 and insert text here. It almost doesn't matter what the additional text is. If it is something beneficial, then I think it'll be good enough to see play. For example, what's something really good? Okay, here's something really good that feels like an elemental effect that I think will make them a real deck but will not push them to the point of being broken. So let's say you have a green and a blue, so 2 mana. A 2 mana 1/3 Elemental Lord. It says, I don't know, Elemental Shaman. No, just an Elemental. A blue-green Elemental that is a 1/3, and it says, other elementals you control have +1/+1, and whenever another elemental enters a battlefield under your control, you can look at the top 3 cards of your library and reveal an elemental card from those 3 and put it into your hand. Like, that is a card that has the potential to be really, really good in elementals, but does not actually break them or push them over the top. It is absurdly good, but elementals are not good enough to push that effect to being straight up broken. So if they get something like about that power level, I think they could become something. But I don't think something like that is straight up strong enough to break them. I think I like something like that, yeah. And then you can get away with playing like all of these free elementals too, and like seeing how far you really could push the archetype, right? Like if you see also, because I expect that we're probably going to get 3 more of these effects too. So whatever the other 3 of these do, they could be really good too. Like for all we know, the green one could just like be really, really insane. Like you could, I don't know. I hope this is not what happens. So Wizards, if this is what happens, just know that I'm angry in advance. But say the green version of Subtlety just lets you evoke to put a green mana into your mana pool. I swear to God that better not be what it is. But if that is what it is, then maybe like you can power out a bunch of stuff, That's probably way too good. That feels way too good. I hope that's not what they choose to do. God, knowing my luck now because I said it, that's probably exactly what's going to happen. And if that is what happens and it fucks up Modern for like months, I'm sorry now. Please don't actually do that. But something like that power level could very well come up. And if you're doing all of these cool things and triggering your elementals and stuff like that, Prismatic Ending will be a spirit staple. I don't know. Prismatic Ending, I think, is very good, but I think it is, because it is a sorcery, I think Prismatic Ending might end up being a card that is better in control decks with Snapcaster Mage than it is in Spirits, but Prismatic Ending is definitely good enough to see play for us, so it could very well end up being a Spirit staple. So for right now, my answer is I simply don't know. It could be the case that it is very, very absurdly good, and being able to kill Ren and 6 for 2 mana might just make it good enough to be a Spirit staple. For right now, I think I like the card Suspend better than Prismatic Ending for us. But I think I'm going to wait until the entire spoiler is actually revealed to give a true answer on that, because for right now, I think I like Suspend a little more than Prismatic Ending for us, but I think Prismatic Ending is great. So I don't want to give a real answer on that until I know all of the cards in this set. But I am actually going to go ahead and use the bathroom, and I'm also going to grab a snack while I'm doing that. So I am going to, I guess, just be back in not that long. And when I am back, what we're going to do is, I guess, address a couple more questions to do with the cards that we have seen so far. And then I'm going to jump into Arena for a little bit, play some mono blue spirits, and see how well we can do with that deck. And also see if there's any more spoilers to kind of go over when we go back. So I hope there are, because I want to see more things. And then, yeah, that'll be probably the bulk of our day. So I don't know what I'm going to want to do after we get done with all of the mono blue matches. But to be determined, you know? Where today's a little bit of a flexible day. So, yeah, be right back. All right, and back. Thanks everybody for waiting. So first, while we're on the screen, let's see if anything's new. Something is new. Ragavan Nimble Pilferer. Oh, it's the token that you get when you attack with the 1/3 from Kaladesh. Karizev. Alright, I know this card. So, whenever Ragavan Nimble Pilfer deals combat damage, you make a treasure token and exile the top card of their deck, and they can cast it, and it has dash. Cool. This card's sweet. This card's really sweet, actually. The more I look at it, the more I like it. And it's got dash. Holy shit. Now, never mind exiling the top card of the deck and casting it. Wow, this card might actually just be good enough to play in Burn. I mean, yeah, 2/1 kind of sucks, but like, it's got dash. Well, you make a treasure token, so like the treasure token gives you colors. So that part's kind of whatever. I get the point you're making though. So like you can still reasonably cast almost anything that you get off of the top of somebody else's deck. Because you're making a treasure token that just is 5 colors anyway. So that part is not as much of a hindrance as it normally would be. Another card to use with Moxamber. That's a good point. Moxamber's a great point there. But I was actually just thinking of it as like a 2-of as like a 13th and 14th creature that could just go in Burn and is very good. So like if you're playing Burn and you're on the play, you get to play this thing, right? And then turn 2, you can just attack and never mind exiling a card and casting it. Who cares? You're just making a treasure token to be able to use your own cards. So like you get a little bit of a mana accelerant if you hit with this thing in Burn, where you're already trying to play cards like Skewer to Critics and Suspending Rift Bolts and stuff like that. So I think this card is low-key ultra good. The only real downside to this is that you have a 2/1 and not a 2/2, so it is vulnerable to like Lava Dart and shit. But it's got dash, so if they're playing this to try to like Renin 6 and Tick Down, that's not going to work because it's got dash. I think this card is really good for Burn. It'll also, I mean, Moxamber is also a real consideration though, especially since in some random artifact based deck, right, like it makes your treasure token, which is an artifact. Moxamber is an artifact, and that's 2/3 of your way to Metalcraft right there. So maybe there's something there. Like for example, you play Ragavan, you attack on turn 2, and you can clear the way. Like there's no blocker that's going to stand in your way, because if you play Ragavan and Moxamber on turn 1, you can just like Galvanic Blast whatever they put in the way to try to block Ragavan. Then you attack, you get a treasure token, and now you have a 1-mana Emery, and you still have access to what, 3 additional mana, because you have treasure token hits you, your second land is untapped, and Moxamber is untapped. So you still have like a shit ton of mana available, even though you've played Ragavan, attacked with Ragavan, cast Emery. You still have 3 mana to do whatever the hell you want with. So I think it's really good. Seems to me like the point of playing Burn nowadays is to prey on prowess. Yes and no. Like, Burn is pretty good about... Wait, is this Karizev's pet? Yes. Yeah, so Ragavan is the 2/1 token that you make when you attack with Karizev. Like, don't get me wrong, Burn is pretty good against prowess, but Burn is also good against the slower decks in the format too. Like, realistically, you want to play Burn because it's got a good matchup against prowess, but also good matchups against like Through the Breach, decent against Amulet Titan, good here, fine-ish here because of Skullcrack, good here, fine here, mirror, bad here, good here, good here, good here, good here, you know, like, you just have a bunch of actively pretty decent matchups when you're playing as Burn. One of them happens to be prowess. You're not playing Burn because it beats up on prowess, because that's not even always true, but you definitely play Burn because it's got a reasonable to good matchup against like 2/3 of the top part of the meta. Excuse me. So there's a lot of really good stuff coming out of this set though. Like so far, this is pretty sweet so far. We've got a lot. What more stuff? Urban Daggertooth, huh? Oh, meh. Insert common dinosaur here. Okay. So nothing really crazy. So here what I'm going to do is go ahead and get up out of this, because I don't really care too much about anything Magic Online for today. But I can go ahead and, dang it, red and green, fire up our arena here. Oh, hey, I actually don't have that. Blooming Marsh, I don't care. Mayhem Devil, I do want Mayhem Devils. I do want Teferis. I do want Growth Spiral. I don't think I'll play with Wrath of God anytime soon. And I definitely don't want Farmlands. Okay. Well, that was kind of cool. So, let's go ahead and play some... What makes Burn good versus Prowess? More removal spells. No, the thing that makes Burn good versus Prowess is Eidolon of the Great Revel. So, what happens is... say you're on the play, you get to deal with their turn 1 threat. Turn 2, you land an Eidolon of the Great Revel. Now, a lot of the time, they can just go ahead and clear it out, right? With a Lightning Bolt and that's whatever. But a lot of their deck also just depends on just like bullshit spells like Opt and Manamorphose and Lava Darts and stuff that Burn just does not give a fuck about. But when you have an Eidolon and a Great Revel on the table, they're stuck taking 2 for each of those filler spells that they're actually trying to use to go with their plan. Also, they're just taking damage from themselves, right? Because they're playing cards like Mutagenic Growth. So, oh! Okay, well, I guess we take those. Let's just submit. What is happening? Okay, thanks, opponent. Cool. Let's take a few more of those. Alright. Not sure what happened there, but I guess our opponent just really did not feel like playing. Excuse me. Man, they just did not want these problems. Spirits is too strong. But yeah, so Eidolon of the Great Revel is straight up amazing. Damn it. That's actually a lot better. So let's do this. We'll ship one of these lands. And now we'll see if this hand is actually... Whoops, that's not a land. But yeah, Eidolon is so good against Burn. I'm sorry, against Prowess. Especially when you get to land 2 Eidolons. Because then, like, the Prowess player, even when they get their attacking creatures on the board... Lightning Helix makes a difference. Lightning Helix makes a small difference because the likelihood of Lightning Helix actually getting to kill a creature is realistically not very high. But when it does, it clearly feels really, really good, right? So let's go ahead and attack. Draw me a Spell Pierce, please. Not quite. So if this creature survives, I'm looking great. If it does not, then, you know, it's kind of what it is. Oh shit, it's Neoform. Well, we're okay. But, like, Lightning Helix, don't get me wrong, Lightning Helix does matter, but it is not, like, the be-all, end-all or anything like that. It's not bad. It just isn't great. And here I'm not going to use my Ascendant Spirit. I want to hold up the counter spells so that I can just like continue to keep doing the good stuff here. And the likelihood of them trying to trade with my Ascendant Spirit is honestly not very high. So let's see. And if they do want to trade one of these for this, then I'm really happy about that. Like, I will let them. Because like the Spectral Sailor is what's important here. Now, if they have a Bone Crusher Giant or something for this, I guess I'm sad. But even then, I'm actually not. No, I'm good with this. Like, if they point a removal spell at this, I'm still okay with that. Because, like, both of these things are getting off the table. Oh, they're just opting? Sick. I was going to say, because I just really want to, like, hold up counter spells for the rest of this. And if I can play cheap creatures and get these off the table, then I am actually pretty happy about that. So, like, this block, hell yeah, let's go. Alright. So now I'm going to hold up double counterspell. And then next turn I can just kind of like start playing more threats here. Like, I don't give a fuck about that at all. Okay. Yeah, like this feels insane. If I draw a land, then I'll play an Ascendant Spirit. Okay, sick. Go. But yeah, so back to Lightning Helix. It is pretty good, but nowhere near enough on its own to actually solve the matchup, because like Lightning Helix so much of the time doesn't actually kill a creature, because it's so easy for them to make their creatures 3/4s. But the gaining 3 life, it can be relevant. Like, sometimes they'll tap out and they just like won't have a free card in hand, and that will actually matter. So this is just another Wall of Blossoms. I am not going to be terribly concerned about that. I will let them have that. As long as they're just like drawing cards and not actually solving the problems I'm presenting, I'm pretty good here. So I'll just do this and this. So what is that? 5, 8, 9. I don't have 2 more damage, so I'll just attack. Give me a land. Oh no, I already played one. Never mind. I don't need to do anything else here. I guess I'll do this. I don't even know that that's really necessary, but so downside, if they have combo and Pact of Negation, I am only holding up 1 counterspell. Well, here's hoping they don't have Pact of Negation, I guess. If they have Pact, I could still just die. Sick. Whew. No Pact. Let's go. Alright. So, Ignoble Hierarch looks the most interesting, although it should have Devour instead of Exalted. I mean, it's still a Hierarch, right? So, I think, there's actually a lot of really good cards for us here. So, cards that I don't know that I really want against them. I don't want, like, 11 counterspells, though. That's just clearly way too many. Because he's Jund colors? Sure. I understand that, like, yeah, like, Devour is definitely a Jund mechanic. But I don't know, like, I think I like Exalted. It's literally just like a palette swap, basically. And it's still like a Hierarch. It's not like, you know, instead of being a ruler, he's like some big giant thing. Like, a Goblin realistically can't devour too many other creature types because goblins are so small. They're usually the ones getting devoured. So I do understand why they didn't bother trying to do that. But, I mean, you're right that Devour is typically, like, a Jund mechanic. But, like, I don't know, like, a Goblin Shaman that's, like, 3 feet tall isn't really devouring too much, you know? Alright, this is fine. I will keep my hand. It's not, like, ultra fantastic, but it's good enough. Like, I can draw, obviously, additional cards off of this. They mulligan, which is really nice, too. And I can draw into what? Any of Grafdigger's Cage, some counter spells. Brazen Borrower might actually be half decent here, especially if their next turn contains just something like, say they try to play like Glasspool Mimic, copying Wall of Blossoms. I can use Brazen Borrower to bounce Wall of Blossoms, so that feels pretty good. If they don't do anything of note, I will just flash in Rattle Chains and then just kind of go aggro with Curiosity. Wall of Blossoms. Okay, so that line's not going to work anymore. But I'm still okay here. Okay. So let's see if they dispute. They do not. Okay. Off the top rope. Okay. So this is medium dangerous territory here. They don't have the mana for the thing, so that part's nice. But I do still need to be on the lookout here. They got an opt again, okay. So I'm still really like just on the lookout for like a Grafdigger's Cage or counter spells. Those are pretty much the only things we want at this point. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, cool. They must have neither half of the combo in their hand. Alright, well, that plays. Okay. Sick. Alright, let's keep it going, I guess. Man, but there have been so many interesting cards coming out of this so far, though. Like, I am pretty satisfied with what we've seen so far. So far, no new spoilers. I did just refresh the thing. But I'm kind of hoping that we see a lot of cool stuff between, well, now and the end of today. Whoa! I don't think I've seen this background yet. This is cool looking as shit. I love this. Also, our hand's pretty good. But look at this. It's like a Colosseum steps. Like, it almost gives me like ancient Egypt vibes. Yeah, this is super sick looking. I love this. Alright, anyway, enough of that. Rogan Triumph. So I assume we are fighting what is probably going to end up being Jeskai Control again. So let's see if that's what happens here. Search for Escanta. Potentially annoying. Yucky. I think I just say fuck it and draw 2 more cards. And, like, make them deal with it. If that's good enough, then cool. I could have held back for, like, a Spell Pierce or something. Okay. Well, at least it was the second card, not the first card. So, like, if I only played 1 Curious Obsession, I just wasn't drawing the Spell Pierce anyway. But if they, like, Helix this, then I already got my value out of it. If they... Sick. Oh, my Lanta, let's go. Do I put the third one of these on it? I think I do. And if they try to counterspell it, then honestly, so what? Okay, cool. Now they can't Helix it. And I've got the counterspell for a, I don't know, like a Wrath of God or something. I'm going to draw 2 of these cards for sure. No, fuck that. Give me the last one. Brainstorm? Yeah, you got it. I will be doing nothing about that Brainstorm. And I'm going to discard 1 of these 2 lands at the end of turn, so... Because I've got my land drop for next turn, and assuming this thing survives, I get to draw a bunch of cards, so, like, that's whatever. My likelihood of getting to hit the next land drop is pretty high. They are at 3 cards in their graveyard. Out of 7, they need to flips, so I need to be a little mindful of that, but so far we're okay here. Iteration, I'm just not going to worry about. Like, if they hit their land drop off of it, then I'm still okay. They do. Okay. Now, a 4/4 here. The only thing that I'm really worried about, I guess, is them potentially getting to what? Brazen Bower bounce? And I don't think I need to walk into that, so I'll just untap. Where's my land? Here it is. So let's do this. Attack. Like, I'm already dealing 4. The difference between 4 and 5 when they're at 13 is not a thing. So let's just draw a bunch of cards. That's good. Anything here I can afford to pitch. I don't need a second Ascendant Spirit, so I can pitch that. And I do not need to draw another card here. So I will play just this. Discarding the second Ascendant Spirit here. Because everything else here I have is either Supreme Phantom, which I do want, or is Instant Speed, which I actually want more. So I'm pretty good with this. And I've got Lofty plus Spell Pierce or Lapse plus Spell Pierce to deal with any real problems they try to present here. So, and here I will level up. Because Siren Storm Tamer plus Spell Pierce is probably enough to protect from whatever they could look at point at this. Alright, so they definitely have like a Helix or something. A Prismari Command. I guess I'm gonna just use this thing to stop them from looting. Oh, it still goes? Oh, target player, target player. Okay, whoops. Alright, so it's still gonna happen. So I guess I didn't need to use my mana. So hopefully they don't have anything that I want to Spell Pierce. I'm gonna feel really bad if they have something I want to Spell Pierce. Okay, good. Shoot. So let's just go ahead and attack here then. That could have backfired. I want to draw... I will draw one more, and I'm done. So let's play a land here. I literally do not want to cast another spell for the rest of this game. End turn. So I'm going to have to drop 2 cards. We'll drop the Sorcery Speed card and a memory land. No, a land. That is 8 cards. So they can flip Cup the Search for Azcanta. So that's, at this point, actually fine. Because, like, Castle Ardenvale is pretty much useless because it's going to take up their whole turn. And they don't know I have a Brazen Borrower too. But also, I've got like 105 counter spells. So it's going to be really, really hard for them to actually... What the fuck? I mean, okay. Not gonna... Stop casting Shark Typhoon, people. That was not on the list of things I saw coming, not gonna lie. Yeah, hard cast Shark Typhoon is not on the list of things I usually look for. My god, that card's so bad when you just try to cast it. Alright, so Ascendant Spirit is definitely my worst of the creatures here. But, like, I mean, yeah, it worked out there because I got to stack 3 fucking Curious Obsessions on it. But, like, anything you put 3 Curious Obsessions on is going to look insane. So yeah, I don't know. Disputes are good. Memory lapses are fine. Putting a bunch of sweepers on top of their deck when, like, I don't really want to deal with them more than once is probably just worse than having disputes. And I don't really know that I want Test of Talents against this deck, even though they played Wrath of Gods. Because they vary their sweepers, right? They have, like, Wrath of Gods, Day of Judgments, Settle the Wreckage, Deafening Clarions. So, like, Test of Talents doesn't actually wipe them out of all of their sweepers like it sometimes does in blue-white. I saw many times Shark Typhoon being cast and single-handedly winning the game. I mean, that is technically a thing that can happen, for sure. It is almost always better to just cycle. Because, like, what happens if your opponent participates, right? Like, sometimes you'll get away with playing, like, these one-player games. And then, yeah, when you do that, I'm actually going to hold up Spell Pierce because of Search for Escanta. I can just play Spectral Sailor if they don't have it, though. So, yeah, like, I can just do this. This is fine. But, like, realistically, if you have an opponent who participates and does anything, then, like, casting your Shark Typhoon is a great way to just, like, find yourself getting ultra dead. And I will do this and hold up Spell Pierce again. Okay. Go. So next turn, if I draw a land, Curious Obsession plus Rattlechain / Lofty is going to look really, really great. And if I don't draw a land, then I'm a little sad. I will let this resolve. I would rather use the Spell Pierce to protect my spirit. Although Iteration is super dumb good. Yeah, that's fine. Not a land. So is it a dispute or is it a shock? It is neither? Must be a shock. Ooh, draw me a land. I need a Lando Calrissian. No? Okay. So, oh, well, that I don't care about. But yeah, like, there's definitely some circumstances. I mean, Shark Typhoon is a powerful Magic card. But honestly, it's just, like, 9 times out of 10, probably even more than that, if you have 6 mana, just get a 4/4 and draw a card. Like, all the decks that want Shark Typhoon, you're usually trying to keep up instant speed interaction anyway. So, like, just draw your good cards. Now, if they don't have another land, this looks great. Boo. Well, still good. So let's draw a land now. Okay. Uh-oh. We're getting dicey here. I am no longer comfortable with this. This I will do nothing about. However, the shark can just be answered by a Fatal Push. Sure, but like, what Fatal Push deck are you actually trying to use against a Shark Typhoon deck? Like, that's not like a matchup where you usually want the Fatal Pushes too much anyway. Like, I don't know that that's a great argument there, just because, like, okay, well, this is much better feeling. So here's 1, here's 2. Okay. I still want more 1-mana interaction. Like, I want more Spell Pierces, and I want a Mystical Dispute, rather than all of this 2-mana stuff I've got going on, because I've been missing land drops. So, like, for example, yeah, like, this Search for Escanta I can't really do anything about, and they've got 6 cards in the yard, so this is gonna flip. I might just get buried in cards here. So, this is good, though. I will play it now, because I want to be able to both Lofty and Rattlechains if need be. Okay. 1 mana, good. And a land, also great. So here I will pitch Shacklegeist and Supreme are probably the worst cards in my hand currently. Yeah. Alright, go on somewhere. Yeah, like, the shark can just be answered by a Fatal Push, but realistically, if you're playing, let's see, I once had my opponent tap out and I hard cast Shark Typhoon. I was playing Orzhov Shadow. Feed the Swarm plus Death Shadow felt great. Your opponent tapped out? That sounds terrible. Need advice. Suppose I'm trying to downsize my collection. Would you suppose dropping Red Black Prowess Shadow or Obosh Prowess? 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's try jamming this. Out of the two, I think Obosh Prowess is probably the worst of the two decks. Because, like, the Death Shadow lists are just really good. Like, you're just going to be able to use Death Shadow for probably the next forever. And that's going to be my guess out of those two. But, like, I don't know. I would also just say, like, if you can keep both, realistically, just keep both. Because I think the way Magic card prices are going to go, like, in the next few months or whatever, I honestly believe that, like, if you have the ability to keep your cards, then just keep your cards, because prices are going to go way, way up when people start realizing, oh shit, I can play Paper Magic soon everywhere, not just here in the US. And I don't think Storm Tamer is going to be the right play here. I think I want to just, like, hold up my things and then pump here. So if you ever, like, drop one of your decks and then find out that, oh shit, I kind of want to play that deck later on and you won't be able to, I don't know that that's really a great reason to want to, to want to do anything there. Again, 4 mana. Yeah, that's fine. So annoying that they had the 2 Wrath of the Gods. So I guess that might have been a situation where the Test of Talents that I mentioned before did look a little better. I can't get behind that. I'm sorry. Like, I am not here for that. Like, I understand that you're, sometimes you think the coast is clear and stuff, and then sometimes you'll get lucky and it will win you games. But, like, I don't know. I feel like more often than not, you just get punished so hard for tapping out that you're just like, it's really just, like, not even worth trying to tap out, Because, like, if you're playing a Shark Typhoon deck, realistically, your deck should just be good enough at responding to stuff to the point where you tapping out is more dangerous than, like, being able to hold up your counter spells and stuff, because, like, it's not like you're playing Shark Typhoon in an ultra proactive deck. You're usually playing Shark Typhoon in reactive decks that actively want to, hold up mana for counter spells, hold up mana for removal. Like, for example, yeah, like, actually, this is a pretty good example. So, like, if this opponent taps out for this Shark Typhoon and plays a land from here, they're probably just dead on the spot because I have these Brazen Borrowers to bounce them. And they're not going to get their value. So here, at the very least, this opponent will be able to use their Shark Typhoon to cycle, and yes, I have the answer for it, but at least they will get to continue playing Magic. And, like, they'll get to draw a card, they'll get to maybe draw a removal spell for next turn, whereas if they just tapped out for Shark Typhoon, they were dead. These decks can easily have 10 mana, you can still hold counter spells, but what happens if you have an opponent? Like, yeah, like, that just assumes that you're making it up to 10 mana all the time. Like, don't get me wrong, sometimes you'll get lucky and you will just get to that mana threshold, but, like, it doesn't happen often enough for it to be, like, a real reliable thing. Like, yes, my deck, specifically this mono blue deck, yeah, we're in a position right now where they're able to get up to a pretty high level of mana, they're able to do their stuff, and everybody's firing on all cylinders, even though I'm in the middle of beating them down. But, like, if you're playing against a more aggressive deck, like mono red or something, when the fuck are you ever having 10 mana? So it's just like, you can get lucky and have it work, but it's not a reasonable expectation is what my point is. Yeah, you do what you gotta do, opponent. Bah. Alright, so that's 3 of the Wrath of Gods. Oh, I actually will dispute that. So that actually does come at, of course, at the cost of my Brazen Power, but like, they already have the Search for Escanta active and flipped and stuff, so I think this game is pretty far gone. So I need to be able to use as many of my cards as I can, because the likelihood of me using all of my cards is really low right now. Or rather, using all of my cards effectively is really low right now. So if they're holding a Shark Typhoon, like if this is a Shark Typhoon that's cycling, I'm probably just dead. Brainstorm is legal? Yeah, Brainstorm's legal. This is historic. Card's great. Oh no. Alright, we're just gonna go to game 3. Alright, well. So it looks like this person is playing all 4 Wrath of Gods, which is pretty obnoxious. But I'm on the play, which is much, much less obnoxious. The Storm Tamers... Where's that Ascendant Spirit? Here it is. On the play, I want the Ascendant Spirit a little more, because I'm more likely to actually have free mana when I'm on the play versus on the draw, to actually use the pump abilities. When I'm on the draw, the likelihood of me actually having spare mana to do it, instead of just like, you know, kind of crossing my fingers, is pretty low on the draw. But on the play, this is not bad. So here I can have Spectral Sailors, protect them, I have Mystical Dispute, I've got Faceless Haven for later. So this doesn't feel too bad. I do want like a Curious Obsession or something for turn 3, but all things considered, this is fine. And if they Mystical Dispute a Spectral Sailor, I'm actually not even all that sad about it. But yeah, Brainstorm is, yeah, that's fine. Ooh. This is nice. So now I have mana for either Spectral or Mystical Dispute, and then next turn I can kind of rinse and repeat the same thing, holding up mana for either Pump or Spell or Protect. Okay. So let's do this. Untap. Bloop. So I do need ways to get more spells in my hand, because if they cast like, say like a Narset here, I'm probably going to want to Dispute Narset. Okay. I don't want to pump here either, because if I pump and then they just use this mana to Lightning Helix, then I feel really stupid. So I'll just do this and hold up Rattlechain's mana. Thanks for the tip about Mono Green being a deck in Historic. I enjoyed playing it. Went for Decisive Denial as a removal to save wildcards. Cool. Yeah, Decisive Denial is certainly not bad, especially since you can actually, like, sometimes just counter Wrath of Gods. Like, that is probably really good, you know? And this is fine. If they go for the Ascendant Spirit, I will pump. If they go for Spectral Sailor, then whatever. Yeah, whatever. I don't necessarily enjoy it, but it's a thing they had the whole time, so whatever. And here... yeah, like, I do want to use my Dispute here. And I will enjoy at least getting to start the pump process. I probably should have done that in response before they played a land. Whoops. Oh well. At least they didn't have it. Oh, hey. Let's go. Well, that feels good. Draw a counterspell? Not quite. We are not going to start casting shit because Wrath of God. I don't enjoy that, but it's gonna happen. Alright. At least this turn, though, I'll be able to use my pump ability. I will also have access to Faceless Haven to kill it. Memory Lapse is good, but I don't know if that it's terribly important here. So let's just do this. Memory lapse, okay. So I could... Boop, boop. And I'm still going to get to draw a card, which is nice. Because Narset is off the table. So if they have Wrath of God, I'm still clearly not, like, the happiest about it. But I will at least be able to make them use their memory lapse by casting Rattle Chains too. Baneslayer Angel. Well, that's annoying. I will get to pump this and then take it over Baneslayer levels, but like, shit. You are a spirit warrior. Angel. Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's untap. I guess we'll just do this. So they're going to get to gain their life, but at least I get this stupid angel off the table? Oh, they're just going to let me draw the card? Oh, well, that's not good. That means they definitely have a Wrath of God. Alright. Well, that sucks. I guess I'll get to make them use their memory lapse, which is not bad. I think Old Growth Troll is well positioned right now. Baffling End is the only efficient one-for-one answer to it. Yeah, like, Baffling End is obviously, like, really good. I don't know that... What? Okay, I'm just gonna untap then. So, let's see. What is this? Shark Typhoon for X is 4? But I don't really care about that. I mean, I do care because they'll get to block here on the Shark Typhoon, and they'll get to block the Faceless Haven here. But what I could do... I could just, like, play the... I could just, like, do this, sacrifice the Faceless Haven, and, like, make them have really shitty blocks. That doesn't feel too bad. I mean, it's not a really shitty block for them, though, is it? Like, Shark Typhoon blocks here, Baneslayer Angel blocks here. Even if I manage to resolve Supreme Phantom plus Curious Obsession onto Faceless Haven to make it a 6/5, it still loses to the first strike here. So, I think I am still just gonna do this, because I have 4 mana left over. This does not feel good if they have a... Okay. So they're going to do this. Block here. Go up to 7. Take 4. Go to 3. Okay. I am much better with that. I'm good with that. That feels a lot better. Whew. So now if they Wrath of God, it's only a 1-for-1. And I can still, like, Rattle Chains, Test of Talents next turn... attack with Faceless Haven and something else too. Okay, that feels much better. Sick! With Portable Hole, I bet people will be even weaker to the Old Growth Troll. Probably true. But also, by the time Portable Hole is actually printed, like, you're playing mono green. I'm sure at least 1 or 2 big dumb green beaters will come out for your deck in between now and Forgotten Realms too. So, like, there's no way that you're not just going to be able to, excuse me, absolutely body people with a bunch of things that are going to get printed between now and then. Especially if you're splashing blue for the Decisive Denial. Like, you're going to get a lot of cards in between now and then for sure. Any new things? We got no new things. There's a boomer version of King of the Pride, so if anybody cares about cats, that's a new boomer version, but that's really it. Everything else is stuff that we've already seen. So let's go ahead and just jam a little more here. But yeah, like, it's just... But that deck is really, really efficient. Like, it's even good enough to see play in Pioneer. Like, you get to play your Mana Elves, you get to play Old Growth Troll, Collected Company is really good out of that deck. I go first? Alright, so this is a hell of a gamble, right? Oh! Oh, is this the same person from before? I think this is the same person from before. It is. Oh my god. What in the paid actor is happening here? Oh, shoot, because I was definitely going to try and keep that sketchy-ass hand. So I don't know who that person is, Yuvarai, but, I don't know. Thanks for scooping when I was going to keep an ultra sketchy hand and probably lose to you, so I don't know. So if I know you and you see this, thanks for the scoops. Oh, man, that's funny. I wonder if I know who that person is. JDV, huh? Okay. Alright, so here we're going to win a die roll. Oh, no, 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 no. Uh-oh. I can't keep this. Okay. So we'll skip one of these, and... oh, boy. I want everything here. Shit. I guess I skip out on Lofty, because I am more likely to draw another counterspell, and all of the counterspells are almost the same, but Rattle Chains is like a unique effect. Also, if they kill this, Rattle Chains can just attack with Curiosity. So, I think this is going to end up being better for me. Okay, well, that's good for my Curiosity. Oh, are you going to fetch now? Sick. Please tell me what colors to look out for. Red. Okay, well, that sucks. So, if they're playing red, I guess I'm going to play Supreme Phantom first, actually. And this will play around Spikefield Hazard on Ascendant Spirit. Obviously, it'll help me get my pump as well, but, like, if I draw a land next turn, too, that'll... if they kill this, I'm assuming they kill this. Blue-red. Is it Phoenix? It is Phoenix. Okay. Oh, I might get out of this. Like, Phoenix is not a great matchup, but, like... okay, well, time to gamble. So I'm going to put this on here and see if I can draw a land with my Curiosity then. If I can draw a land with my Curiosity, I actually feel pretty good about this game. Ooh, hell yeah, let's go. So we might actually get out of this mess. Like, I can Memory Lapse / Rattle Chains, whatever they do to kill this thing. If it's like a Lightning Axe or something, I actually am happy about keeping the Rattle Chains. Sweltering Suns. Fuck your couch. So, I'm obviously not going to enjoy dealing with the same Sweltering Suns this next turn, but I will... nice, nice. Nice, sir. Let's go. That is what we asked for. So what I could have done to get around the Sweltering Suns this turn too was possibly like Rattle Chains and then Supreme Phantom so I can keep these alive and kind of like get them. But realistically, I'd rather just do this, turn the Sweltering Suns completely off, and then make them walk into Rattle Chains so I have a better attack next turn. That feels even better. Oh, fuck yeah. Let's go. A reference to Chappelle's Show. Which one? I do make those a lot. What is this? Star of Extinction? Holy shit, opponent. You are going ultra deep here. To be honest, I actually make so many references to the Chappelle Show that I don't even know which one you're talking about right now. But I assume you're... we'll just assume that you're right, and I definitely made that reference. What is this? Oh, it's a Taking Turns deck. It's not Phoenix. Okay, whatever. I guess I'm still good with that though, right? Like, I don't need to use my mana to pump here because they can respond with Lightning Helix or Lightning Strike. So, I guess I just do this and attack. I should have waited on the land drop because I could have drawn a Faceless Haven. But, yep, let's go. Sick life. Oh, Charlie Murphy's? Oh, God, yeah, yeah. Yo, my God. So, funny story about the Charlie Murphy thing. God. Mythic's mastery on that thing. I guess I will do this. And they can't dispute because I got 3 mana, so we're good. Pact of Negation! Fuck you, no! Welp. So that sucks. I mean, I'm gonna play the Rattle Chains, so, like, it's not that bad, but, like, god damn it. Alright, well, I'm gonna full up mana with it, I guess. Now, watch this be a fucking Mystical Dispute off the top, too. Okay, cool. So, this actually... Oh, wait, we still win. We still win. I attack them to 3, they tap all 5 for their Pact of Negation to resolve, and then I just finish attacking for 3. Sick. Let's go. Alright, cool. Hey, buddy, how's it going? Going pretty good. Hollywood Stories? Yeah, man, like, story fun time is super real, for sure. I guess I would put in Aether Gust as well. So we saw Mythic's Mastery, so I guess Grafdigger's Cage is also good because of the actual win con kind of loses to that too, so I should probably play the good cards. So cards that I don't really know that I want too much of. Storm Tamer is not great. Shacklegeist is medium. I do still want most of the rest of these creatures. Is Brazen Borrower that good here? If I take it out, how many creatures do I still have? I have 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 creatures. That doesn't feel like a lot. But, like, this card really sucks here. Is that enough creatures, though? The answer is probably no. I'll take out the 2 Curiosities for 2 Borrowers. Yeah. I do still want a pretty high number of creatures. Okay. I see there will be Madness cards in this set, but I'll be sad if there's no Baskin Rootwalla. Yeah, like, Baskin Rootwalla is clearly really good. I don't know how many free spells they are willing to put into one set, though. But I do like our hand. Like, we got a small pile of creatures, we got a couple of counter spells, we got 2 lands, so this is alright. Like, Baskin Rootwalla, I think, is a lot more powerful than it looks, though, with all of these other things that you can benefit from getting free spells. Like, there's probably a reason that it hasn't been printed into Modern yet, because, like, free spells are ultra powerful, and Baskin Rootwalla is, oh, hell yeah, is, like, one of the weakest free spells that we've seen so far, but it still is free, which means it still has the ability to do, like, some really good work, you know? Okay. A Mastery Scholar thing. Okay, got it. I think it's probably rare for a Finn to have seen all the Boondocks episodes and no... Oh, yeah! That makes a lot of sense, yeah. I didn't even think about that aspect of it. I'm actually definitely going to double Obsession here. Like, if they want to use, like, just a Sweltering Suns to take care of the one Spectral Sailor, like, I understand, but, like, I'm already going to get my value out of this, so, like, even if they do, I'm not just the saddest about it. And I'm glad that the second card was a land drop too, because I actually did need that land. Oh, this is nice. So now I'm gonna get to untap with mana, drawing more cards, and I get to hold up counter spells for basically the rest of the game now. So this is was that a Terror of the Peaks? It was. Okay. So I'm just gonna attack here. If my land is a Faceless Haven, I'd rather play that than an island. It's not, but that's fine. I have 3 mana, which means playing this is good. Yeah, let's go. Alright, go ahead. But yeah, like, I've been trying to get Kristen to watch the Chappelle Show and the Boondocks, and she just, like, is not interested in either, which makes some sense. But, like, god damn it, I want her to watch the cool things. She's Mythic Mastery for Strategic Planning. I do not think I'm using a counterspell on that. You can have that, opponent. So here I'm just going to go ahead and pump my Ascendant Spirit and put them on a 2-turn clock. Like, that seems a lot better than worrying about whatever the hell they could have with that. Tendrils and Mind's Desire. Alright, cool. So now they're on a 2-turn clock, and I'm not going to say that I don't need to worry about what's happening anymore, but it is approaching that point. So let's draw... Okay, cool. And here I'm good to discard a Supreme Phantom and the other land. Yeah. So Supreme Phantom being sorcery speed, I'll say good game back. They were pleasant. Their deck is pretty cool though. Like, Mind's Desire into a freaking copy of Tendrils of Agony seems really strong when they can get all of it off. Like, if they can just resolve, like, a big-ass Mythic's Mastery, do all of this ultra cool shit, right? And then, like, have a really big Tendrils come out, like, that seems really sick. So, Mastery to Mind's Desire is what they're going for. So, I'm just gonna try to counterspell it. I really don't want to deal with Mind's Desire. I've been trying to get my girlfriend into Magic with no luck. I've actually not been trying very hard to get her into Magic. You know what I'm actually going to do here? I'm going to let them pack the Lofty because I want the pack to have the shitty text on it. But I am definitely still not letting this Mythic's Mastery resolve. I'm just going to Aether Gust this thing. And another Pact. Okay. So now the stack is pretty big, though. So they had 2 of these, but they have to basically win this turn. So if they don't win this turn, then they have to pay for 2 Pact negations. What? Yep. Okay, Mind's Desire for 6. But if they don't win this turn, they have a lot of work to do here. They could still win this turn, though. Oh, fuck. Dragonstorm. Alright, so they rolled a Dragonstorm, so we might just be getting a game 3. Damn. Well, that sucks. Alright, well, game 3 it is. I don't know, 1 pack we had covered, 2 packs they didn't, and they rolled into 2 of the Dragonstorms, so yeah, you got me up on it. That was cool. So I am still pretty happy to just go into game 3 here. We've got the 3 Grafdigger's Cages, we've got a giant pile of counterspells, and as you guys saw, like, our plan was still really good. So I don't mind running that back. I gave her a mono green Stompy deck once, but she didn't like it. Oh man, that's funny. No, so Kristen actually used to play Magic like a really long time ago, just like at an ultra casual level, right? Like, she had this cat deck that she really liked playing. She played let's see, you know, played a few FNMs, and actually that's funny enough, that's where I met her. I ended up meeting her at a Friday Night Magic with her ex, who I think still plays Magic, but I don't know. We ended up hanging out, and this is like 10 years ago. Like, we just ended up hanging out over the years, and obviously she likes me better because, well, she's here, so cool. Got a good green Stompy list I can lean on. Been hating Ronus, for example, in my list. So while I don't have a Stompy list of my own, I do like the archetype. So, because, like, Stompy is just, like, not a deck that I've ever, like, played myself. But I do think the archetype is reasonably positioned. Because, like, the Ronus, it does usually feel like, in my opinion, the weakest card in that deck. But I don't really know what people are playing in it. We can, as soon as this game is done, though, take a look at the metagame, find out, and then kind of go from there, yeah. they pitched Dragonstorm and Terror to Peaks. Okay. So what I would really love to see here is opponent just like, I don't know, casting strategic planning so that I can flash in Rattle Chains, and then my draw step, assuming I'm in Magical Christmas Land here, is like a Grafdigger's Cage. That would be just like super A1. So I'm still going to cast this. I don't know, I guess this one. Give me a cage. Give me a cage. Not quite. Still not bad, though, because I can still flash in double Rattle Chains and present lethal. That plays. To be fair, this was before I even got into Modern. Prowling, Sepulchre, Llanowar Elves, the green 3-drop from Dominaria. It was fun, but not very competitive. That's an unfortunately fair assessment of really most of the mono green decks. Like, mono green, just like as an archetype, is typically not ultra competitive, but in Historic, I think the mono green deck is actually like pretty playable because you have access to just like a bunch of good cards and then collect the company. So yeah, let's take a look and maybe we can build together. So let's see, I want to go traditional Historic, I want to go green, and then we can worry about splashing blue later. So here I would want to play cards like Llanowar Elves, and we could also play like Pelt Collector because that's really good. I don't think Elvish Mystic is in this format. It is not. This card is, but it's not very good in this format. So these are going to be like our 1-drops to speak of here. I was not the one asking for advice. No. No, what happened was somebody earlier was. So like, if you were not asking for the advice, you can definitely like help give the advice though, because this is also like not a deck I've been playing. Claim the Firstborn on Old Growth Troll is such a blowout. Facts. That sucks. They don't necessarily get to keep the land, because I think Old Growth Troll enchants specifically a forest. Yeah, it is specifically a forest. Is Historic as wild a format as it seems from the outside? Yes. Straight up yes. Like, Historic is all over the place, but for that reason, I think it's really fun. Like, look at all these decks that you can play in Historic, right? Like, Gruul Aggro is really good. It's just insert a bunch of creatures and then Embercleaves. It's exactly what you would expect. But also, like, you get Skelesnia Company, which just plays a bunch of good cards and then collect the company. And this deck's pretty good. You get, like, a real Auras deck that's almost as good as the one in Pioneer. Blue-Black Rogues, Sacrifice. Stompy is actually good here. Is it Phoenix is very good. Like, look at all the broken cards you get to play. Like, you get to play Sprite Dragon, Art Like Phoenix, Brainstorm, Faithless Looting. Like, you just get to play so many real cards in this format. Like, it's actually absurd. This is Jeskai Control that, again, gets to play some of the most, yeah, as you said, some of the most ridiculous stuff ever printed. Like, you get Teferi, Brainstorm, Expressives, Lightning Helixes, Day of Judgment, Wrath of God. Like, there's so many really good, powerful cards in this format. Oh, God, here's another one. Rakdos Arcanist. This card is stupid. Look at the list of cards this thing gets to play. You get to play Sedgemoor Witch, which sees play in Vintage, Young Peasy. You get Croxa and Ox of Agonis, which are both multi-format all-stars. Dreadhorde Arcanist, that is banned in Legacy. You get Thoughtseize. You get Inquisition of Kozilek. You get Fatal Push. And this person isn't even playing Fatal Push, which I think is a mistake. But you get Fatal Push in this deck. Or Fatal Push. You get Faithless Looting. You get Thoughtseize, Inquisition, with Dreadhorde, Young Peasy, Sedgemoor Witch. Like, this format is nuts. You get, where's the Elves deck? Like, oh, here we go. Like, the Elves deck is also fucking stupid. Like, you get Allosaurus Shepherd, which is basically the Pioneer list. It's better than the Pioneer list. Like, the Pioneer list doesn't get to play Faithless Looting. It doesn't get to play Inquisition of Kozilek. And you get both of those cards. The typical, this is not a typical Dreadhorde list. No, it's not. It's not. Like, you get to play, like, Lurrus with Faithless Lootings. Yeah, like, the list that I just randomly pulled up here, this list looks absurd. And it is nowhere near as good as the good list. Matter of fact, what am I talking about? I have Arena. I can just show you the good list. Alright, get rid of this for now. Where's Arcanist? Here we go. Dreadboard. Like, look at this. You get to play, like, Luris and Young Peasy. I'm not playing Sedgemoor Witch because I'm playing Luris, but you still get to play, like, Faithless Looting, Thoughtseize. I'm not playing Inquisition in this list because I wanted to play Cling to Dust, but, like, you still get to go, like, Fatal Push, some Shocks, Faithless Looting, Thoughtseize, Archfiend's Vessel to go with the Claim to Fames and stuff, Dreadhorde Arcanist, Young Peasy, Croxa. Like, you just get so many great cards. Like, Duress is here. Oh, shit. I need to update those. Because I was playing Duress because I wanted to take out Wrath of Gods and Day of Judgments. But there we go. Inquisitions. But, like, get to play those. I'm playing Embereth Shieldbreaker because, like, you know, they provide bodies, but also gets rid of, like, Grafdigger's Cages from the opponents. Like, Crippling Fears, whatever, sure, you get to sweep your opponent's stuff. Feed the Swarms, as you mentioned before, is really good. Like, just so many decks get really absurd cards. Like, I don't think there's anything too broken in this deck. Yeah, there's nothing too broken in this. Like, this deck is all, like, mostly fairish cards. What is this? Oh, yeah. Yeah, Bant Spirits, sure. So you get, like, Memory Lapses, Lofty Denial, like, real counter spells. You get to play, like, Kira, Empyrean Eagle, Collected Company, Sky Clays, Brazen Bowers. Like, even this deck that's playing mostly an ultra fair plan still gets to play, like, some busted shit. What else is, like, really broken? Oh, that's standard, is it? Did I build Phoenix here? I think I did. I did. Here we go. Just a giant pile of really fucking broken cards here. So you get, like, Brainstorm, Faithless Looting, Lightning Axe, like, removal spells, strategic planning. You get to play, like, Sprite Dragon, Phoenix. Format looks cool, to be honest, but a third format on a whole different platform, not sure about that. That's fair. So Historic is ultra fun, and you get to play with some really powerful shit. But at the same time, it is a whole nother platform, a whole nother format, and realistically, like, a lot of people just do not have the fucking money to afford this shit. Like, it's expensive. That's what it is. Like, I don't know, Magic is stupid expensive already, and this format is even more expensive than usual. Like, I have Spirits and Scales and a bunch of staples for Modern and Pioneer and Paper. And on Moto, okay. To grind for those cards on Arena again doesn't sound appealing. That's fair. So, like, I don't have any input for that. It's simply, I agree with you. If you don't think that playing on Arena is worth your time, then it does not make sense to dump a bunch of money into Arena. I'm not going to try to convince you that it does make sense. Shit doesn't. But if you're looking for the different experience that you can get out of playing just, like, a giant pile of fucking broken cards and actually getting to enjoy cards you like. Oh, no. Like, that's not even unreasonable whining either. That is a very real and valid point. Because the Arena economy, it's a fucking mess. Like, for example, somebody like me who you see, like, I don't really put money into Arena. I just happen to play, and thank God I win more than I lose. So I have all the stupid little gold stacks and, like, the little quests and whatnot, and I try to do those so that I can play this game, because let's be real, I also play Magic Gathering online. I used to play Paper Magic before COVID, and I may or may not again after COVID, we'll see. And I, as you can see, have a pretty robust Arena collection. But if I wasn't able to do all the daily quests and stuff, there's no way I would afford this. Like, this is just Gladiator? What the hell is Gladiator? I know it's supposed to be like some new EDH-like format, but honestly, that's not really my jam. So I am unfamiliar with what that specific one is. I love your deck name. Oh yeah, obviously the best deck. Yeah, clearly. Like, it's Blue-White Spirits. It's obviously the best deck. Like, why would this not be the best deck? But yeah, you gotta have a lot of fun with with all of this stuff. Although lately, Mono Blue has been feeling much, much better for me than, even when it's not, it still is. Exactly. Like, I think Mono Blue is actually a lot better than the Blue-White list, but it still But blue-white's still really fun. Like, you still get almost all of the cool shit that you do in Pioneer, too. Like, you get Lofted Denials, you get Watcher the Spheres. Again, I'm not playing Empyrean Eagle, but that doesn't mean it's wrong to do so. 100 card singleton in Arena, but no commanders. Okay, sure. That makes sense. That sounds like exactly the kind of format I would never play. I'm sure it's a lot of fun, but not my jam. But, yeah, I don't know. Decks are good. But you get to do some ultra powerful shit in Historic if you are inclined to do so. But the problem is with Historic is that you just, like, don't have access to, like, rental services or anything. Either you just own the cards or you're just SOL. Yeah, here's the Gruul deck, I guess. And just, here's a bunch of, like, just things. You play a bunch of creatures that attack. That's it. The deck is very, very good at attacking. So let's check out... That's not what I wanted. I wanted to check out the Stompy deck with you. Here it is. Here we go. So, with the Stompy deck, we've got Llanowar Elves and Pelt Collector as your 1-drops that we discussed earlier. Barkhide Troll is really good. Garruk's Harbinger is actually really good too. Like, it effectively just draws you cards all the time, and that's pretty sweet. So, in this deck, it's not even, like, shying away from what you were doing earlier with the Decisive Denials. Like, this deck is just choosing to play Decisive Denial because the card's good. You get Steelleaf Champion, Old Growth Trolls, Ronuses, Garruk's Harbinger is not bad. Scavenging Ooze is obviously great. Collected Company is just insanely powerful. And if you, in your list, simply wanted to take out the 2 Ronuses for 2 other cards, I don't even necessarily blame you. Like, I think 1 is probably fine, though, just on the off chance that you hit it off of a Coco and it's good. Like, that's probably a good enough reason to decide to play it, right? But, like, if you don't want to play 2 because by itself it just doesn't really do anything, then I totally understand that. You can shave it down to 1, and that's still perfectly reasonable, right? Like, you don't necessarily need to depend on another 4-power creature to make this card good. You can just shave 1, and that way if you get it, you get it, and if you don't, oh well. And I'm sure this deck is still, like, way more than good enough to see play. Like, this card seems actively really good. And you just get to play, like, a bunch of really good cards out of the sideboard, too. Like, Shifting Ceratops is great. Vivian is pretty good. Reclamation Sage is good. A 4th Scavenging Ooze is really nice against all the graveyard decks. Soul Guide Lantern is pretty good. Miscast and Negates, why not? There is no such thing as Stubborn Denial in this format yet, but these are still good enough, for sure. And then the Great Henge is just, like, a broken fucking Magic card that, like, if you're playing against another attacking fair deck, like, say, against Gruul, then the Great Henge will just beat them by itself. The card's really good. If I were to play this deck, though, and I were you, I might take out the 2 spots that are Ronus, and instead of playing these, I might try to play, like, I don't know, Gem Razors, maybe? Gem Razor seems pretty good. And if you don't have the rare wild cards for Primal Might, maybe like Ram-Throughs. I play Kazandu Mammoth. Okay, sure. Instead of Steelleaf. Steelleaf's really good. If you do have the rare wild cards, I definitely suggest getting the Steelleafs. But I can get behind playing Mammoth instead of, say, Ronus. I also play 4X Abundant Harvest and have normal 21 lands. Okay, so Abundant Harvest is not bad. I don't know... What are you cutting from this, for example, for the Abundant Harvest, though? Like, because if you're playing 4X Abundant Harvest, then I assume that you're playing fewer creatures, which might affect your collected companies. If you are cutting 2 lands, then that's probably less of a concern. I don't know, it probably ends up being fine, actually. That sounds like it's probably fine. I don't think I hate it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I hate it. I think I like it. Like, Abundant Harvest is really, really good as far as cards are concerned. And then, like, Kazandu Mammoth is also really good. Like, just getting to attack with 5 for your 3-drop that you can hit off of Coco just seems really nice. So I do like both of those cards. And Ronus, in my opinion, usually is, like, the worst card in the deck. Sometimes it's really nice, but, like, you already have to have one of these to have Ronus be even decent. So I don't, you know, like... I don't hate cutting Ronus. I think it's okay. Wait a minute. You have for Kazandu Mammoth, and 21 normal lands. So you have a total of 25 lands. Oh, never mind, never mind. Abundant Harvest is great in your deck. Never mind, I take that all back. Because you're playing Kazandu Mammoth, which is a land. Yeah, never mind. I cut 3 lands. Abundant Harvest counts as 2. Mammoth takes care of the creature count. 26 is not an ideal creature count, though. Yeah, like, and that's kind of with the Coco a little of where my concern was, because you're playing the 4 Abundant Harvest. What I might do is, like, maybe shave the Abundant Harvest down to just 2 and playing 2 more good creatures to play off of Collect the Company. But other than that, it sounds like your list kind of rocks. So, yeah, hope that works out. But overall, even though this is not an archetype I enjoy playing, this archetype is definitely good. It is, like, this deck is really good. It just happens to not be the kind of Magic I like playing. But that is, but it is still a really good deck. Oh, it's just like regular burn. Yeah, it's just regular burn, okay. Alright, so let's get up out of here. But now that we've looked at this, I don't need to do the same thing on Arena. So let's get rid of this. And, wait, are we really close now? Oh, hey, if we win our next match, we just rank up and I'm done thinking about it. Cool, let's do that. Alright, well, let's see if we can beat up on just one more person and go ahead and rank up. You lose the Sacrifice. Yeah, the Sacrifice deck is really good. Sometimes, like, the combination of, like, Witch's Oven and Claim to Firstborn is just really good against you, you know? Like, that just sucks sometimes. But that's one of the things. Hey, we win a die roll, and our hand is not terrible. We take those. But, like, the Sacrifice deck is really good against green decks. That is for sure. Excuse me. So let's go ahead, jam out our Spirit, and see what our matchup is. Red-white. Okay. That means I'm going to do this and draw my card now, because I am pretty much not guaranteed to get 2 hits in with this thing ever. But I can draw a Spell Pierce? Nope. Okay. That's fine. So, a thrilling discovery, huh? Alright, do what you got to do, opponent. Go on with your bad self. Time Warp, okay. Let's see if we draw a good counterspell or something reactive. We don't. End turn. Okay. And I do not need to cast another spell or walk myself into a Helix, so I'll just untap. Ooh, that was great. Okay. I'll be happy to draw a counterspell at some point, please. Deck. Nope. Okay. Yeah. Go. Okay. So this gets really scary if I don't draw a counterspell in the next, like, turn or two here. If they play a damage sweeper, I'm good. Okay. I will do that. Because I really just need to draw, like, more reactive spells here. Woo! Nice! Alright. So, against that deck, I want Test of Talents, I want Disputes, and I want Cages? Yes. Same plan as last time, I guess. So, here, Memory Lapse is not great. I don't want Aether Gust against that specific one. I want less of these Shacklegeists, and less sorcery speed creatures, but all of the blue cards. Okay, cool. Alright, well. And our hand is pretty good. We've got a 1-drop, we've got counter spells, we've got a Curious Obsession. Can't really ask for too much more. I will play this into the face of a a white land first. I guess I just played a Siren Storm Tamer, actually. Yeah, alright. Because if they like Lightning Helix this, then I don't really care. Good enough. Cool. That actually worked out pretty well for me. So here, I will just chill, actually. So if they play something I care about, I have a Lofty as a Force Spike. If they don't, I have a Rattle Chains, and maybe that resolves, maybe it doesn't. Okay, let's... Oh, cool. I just untap. Alright, well, I guess that plays. Fuck it, let's try it. Let's see what manner of bad thing happens to this thing. Nothing? Sick. Let's go. Well, that certainly fucking plays. Alright, resolves here. Modern Horizons 2 looks incredible. Oh my god. Bro, like, Modern Horizons 2 looks like just the absolute sickest thing. It's got so much stuff for everybody, and even though I've been making fun of how trash the Spirit has been for this set, Deafening Clarion, I guess I'll make them use a, yeah, I'll make them use a Dispute on this, I guess. Like, it's obviously a Dispute that they're holding up, but I'd rather have them use the additional counter spells since I have creatures and stuff in hand. Yeah, like, that's fine. So I'm hoping that this is not the turn where they actually get the combo out on me. A Faithless Looting, okay. Oh, yeah, so much stuff. Yeah, for sure. Like, there's... But it really does, though. Like, there's just... If you like playing combo, there's excellent combo options for you. If you like playing burn, you just got Flame Rift. If you like playing tempo decks like Spirits, then shit, we just got like Subtlety and a blue Path to Exile that tempos them out, but is not actually good. If you like playing control decks, you just yeah, that happens. Okay, we discarded a Time Walk. Okay. I can do this. I can hold that up. Yeah, let's do that. I don't mind doing that. So, next turn here, I can just cast Mystical Dispute for 3, and that's fine. Starting next turn, I can hold up Dispute plus draw a card with Spectral Sailor. And that's probably close to good enough. I will not do anything about this. I got a sweet blue-green Arayo Kinnin Brew that's going to play Throsta and the legendary Storm Ooze. Yeah, that sounds like exactly the kind of shit you like, for sure. Like, Throsta is exactly like just the kind of, you know, big dumb payoff card that's like, hey, I'm going to get ultra rewarded for playing 1,000,000 cards in a turn. And that really sounds like exactly your kind of Magic. So... But that's kind of exactly where I wanted to like say earlier. Like, I'm just really glad that so many people get to look at this set and go, holy shit, they printed a card for me. So there's going to be people complaining about like some of the more egregious stuff. Like, people are going to bitch about Grief. People are going to bitch about, oh, hey. People are going to bitch about Grief. They're going to bitch about Subtlety. They're going to bitch about like just, oh, this is looking great. They're going to bitch about like Throsta when, you know, whenever Throsta actually happens to them. There's always going to be something for people to complain about, but I am much more excited about all of the deck building that people are going to try to do with this set. And so far, yeah, like, there is potential for a card like Throsta to kind of get out of hand, but aside from like Throsta and Grief, is this just like, I'm going to let this resolve because I want them to exile the Clarion. Okay. So I can dispute this. And this is actually pretty good, though, because if they counter this dispute, I can still flash in Rattle Chains and have lethal. Yeah, like, that's fine. So, like, either way, they're still just, like, dead to this Rattle Chains plus Faceless Haven. Haha. Get fucked, nerd. I'm not gonna good game them. But that was a really sick little tear we just went on, right? Hell yeah. Let's go mono blue. Sweet. Alright, so now we got our 6th booster pack reward for the start of next month, so that's pretty awesome. Right, you get... Yeah, like, we could just get like a giant pack of booster packs for next month because we ranked up. Yeah, so that was... Gotta be off. Hope you have a good run. Yeah, like, our run is finished now. Like, we just did the rank up that I wanted to get. So, we just went from fucking, like, what, Diamond 2 or 3 or whatever the hell we started all the way up until the end there. So, you enjoy the rest of your day. Oh, for the algorithm? Fuck yeah, thanks. Alright, man, you have a great rest of your day. But yeah, that was obviously really awesome. We just, like... pretty much tore through like 2 or 3 ranks there, just like get all the way out of Diamond into Mythic. And I mean, I don't know, that'll show us like the power of the Spirits deck though, because like, you know, people are talking about how this deck is, it's one color, it's kind of bad, it doesn't get all the options and all that other stuff, but like it's just a really powerful thing that is very good if you just like know what spells to prioritize and know what hands to keep. And the deck rewards you for just playing your cards well. And as you see, like, we just tore through a whole bunch of different archetypes in decks that get to play like really powerful shit. Like, we just watched a lot of people cast like some truly broken cards. Like, people casted Brainstorms and Faithless Lootings and Wrath of Gods at us. You know, stuff that's been banned in multiple formats and stuff that has like not been printed since like 7th edition and shit. But like, we just tore through a bunch of really powerful things, and our deck looked absolutely fucking awesome the entire time, right? So I'm really glad that, like, you know, we just got to highlight Spirits and see it as basically the awesome, really great deck that it is. And I look forward to doing this again with y'all next month. Just taking the Spirits archetype and just running through a bunch of people so that we can continue to rank up every month. And the more we get to do this, the better the deck looks. I'm hoping more people pick it up and share info and share deck lists. And eventually this deck will be seen as the really awesome deck that it is, you know? But that's going to be it for Magic, because we got to do all of the things we wanted to do. So before we go, though, I am going to just double check real quick to make sure that I didn't miss any new spoilers that came out today. Nope. Okay, so we did catch all of the spoilers that came out. So that is, in fact, going to be it for today's stream here. And I'm going to, on Twitch, look for somebody to go ahead and raid, see who I follow and like that's actually on. And then we will have y'all talk to them for the rest of the day, because I am going to do some fun stuff and kind of, you know, touch some grass and see the sun and all that happy horse shit. LSV, that's a Pokemon streamer. Nobody knows I'm a dog. Okay. It looks like he is playing Amulet Titan, which I don't like the deck, but I like the guy. So I'm going to have y'all speak to him for the rest of the day here. I feel like there's a bunch of cards in Modern Horizon 2 that would be good in a more efficient format that punishes you for going for 5 mana spells. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that. So like the format is getting much more efficient, and it's getting a little faster, but because there are so many good reactive and controlling spells like Subtlety and Grief, there's also a good reward available for, you know, playing decks that prey on people who want to 2-for-1 themselves. So if you like playing control, then the fact that people are trying to play Grief and play Subtlety and play cards that 2-for-1 themselves actually works out better for you, because if, say you're playing against Spirits and you're playing as Esper Control, now if I wanted to cast a card like Subtlety to put your Teferi Time Raveler on top of your deck instead of resolving, and then you Archmage's Charm to draw 2, well, now I've 2-for-1 myself, and you've gotten a 2-for-1 in your favor. So you can take advantage of that by playing, you know, just like infinite card advantage spells, and that's just one very different option that a lot of people will have to make sure that all these hyper efficient cards can still get punished so that the game remains fair. I think that's almost exactly the kind of environment that we want to live in, where it is healthy to both take advantage of the hyper efficient spells and healthy to try to punish the hyper efficient spells. So I think Modern Horizons 2 so far looks to be putting Modern in a pretty decent place. Like, it looks fun, it looks healthy, it looks like things people like. People who play all kinds of different archetypes are happy about what's coming out. And really, that's all you can ask for a product, because let's be real, there's no fucking chance you can make everybody happy in Magic. But so far, Modern Horizons 2 is coming pretty close to that goal. So I'm hoping that the other spoilers we see don't just fuck up and break this game in half again like Hogak did last time. But, you know, fingers crossed, right? But that is going to be the end of my stream. I'm going to have y'all speak over to Nobody Knows I'm a Dog. So thanks as always for tuning in. I will see y'all at least on Monday, if not before that. And yeah, everybody just have a great rest of your day. Thanks for stopping in.